Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Three Nerds on a Sunday, where three nerdy friends talk about all things nerd, geek, and pop culture related. I am one third of the nerd, Sunny, and oh, would you look at that? We have an extra guest with us today. Today we're joined by Gil and Manny and Frank as well on the main table here.
Yeah, buddy.
That dude right there.
Well, that dude right there. It is our special episode. It's kind of a tradition, and also tradition that someone will get mad at me for something on this list. So let's see if it keeps going. This week we'll be doing our top 10 favorite films of 2021. Not necessarily best, but our favorites. So it's a little caveat there for you. This is our list. You don't have to agree with it. You want to argue? Well, we have Instagram, Facebook. I'm all ready. So
Sound
let me know.
off.
But before we get into all the shenanigans and tomfoolery, let's go ahead and actually keep another tradition alive here so far, and let's talk about Book of Boba Fett, episode 3.
My name is Boba Fett.
Do we have to talk about it?
That's what I said.
But I'm
Right
really
before you got here.
disappointed. I'm really disappointed that I'm not having a hell of a time with this show.
Yeah.
It
Same here.
kills me that I'm not
Yep.
having a hell of a time.
Yeah.
After how much
There's some
we
parts are
wanted
like,
this
oh
show,
yeah, and then like,
Yeah.
no, that's not what I wanted.
Man.
That's
we were
like,
we
I
all wanted this so much for so long. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
So I guess, well,
stupid Roberto.
so I guess by everyone's kind of tone here, no one's really too thrilled, but we got to do it, so we got to do it. So I guess, is there anything that you really enjoyed about this episode, or something that at least was like, hey, this wasn't too bad? I kind of like this part.
I thought it was cool to see the Power Rangers. Nice
oh my
crossover.
God! Did you guys tell him I said that?
No,
I did text it, right? Like I thought I was watching the fucking Power Rangers.
I said the
And
same thing to
someone-
my wife.
And someone was trying to sell it like they don't want to be on Tatooine. They have to be different than everybody. And that's why they're doing droid stuff to them. And that's why they have different color bikes. Those bikes should be on Coruscant. But no, they're on No! Stop!
Shouldn't be anywhere.
No! Shouldn't be anywhere,
It
bro.
was
Anywhere.
Turbo
Those
Force.
bikes were way too fucking colorful. And
Fair
Boba's like, yeah, come along. You need a job?
It makes him look like a joke that all he has are like these Power Ranger
Jobs.
kids and
It does.
like
It
a baby
definitely
Rancor
at
and
least
then
you
he's
got a
walking-
Rancor.
walking
And
around
then-
in his underwear and a robe, and it's like, come on.
Well, I mean, it's where
You
he
gotta stop
sleeps at
sleeping in that
least. I walk around,
At least he
In my
did get
underwear.
a Rancor, though.
Yeah, you got that.
Oh, that Rancor, I hope they don't mess that up.
Big one.
Because that could probably be one of the coolest scenes that you see in Star Wars. Now, it is a
Yeah.
baby Rancor, but it's still nonetheless a Rancor.
I
You have to
mean,
spend the
it
money to
is.
make it
I
look
mean,
good.
I guess I would call it a young Rancor, only
Yes.
because we literally saw what was it, Rex fight a baby Rancor, which was one of my favorite things to watch on screen. That was the greatest
That
thing
was
I've ever
cool.
seen. But I think I'm willing to suffer through all the bad CGI as long as they keep the good stuff good, like that train scene. That was great.
That was
Perfect.
pretty cool.
They spent the cash on that.
looked
It suffered the CGI, especially in this episode with the speeder bike chases in Turbo Force. But so I know Frank has a problem with it, and I thought I'd like to fight with Black Chris Hansen.
I did too.
It was fun.
Like that?
That started off really hot. I was pretty pumped for that, and then
Yeah.
it just went a little downhill.
I thought he fought kind of stupid. Like,
I agree.
he didn't seem like much of a warrior. Like, he does what every other Wookiee does. He just throws people around, and then why did he go in there without really any weapon? I mean, is he that like confident? I guess.
Yes.
I don't know. I'm just
Yes.
giving him. excuses, but he's not.
I mean,
I don't know. Did not
Yeah.
impress me.
I liked it. I mean, I don't know too much about the Wookiee culture and what and how well I know a little bit after researching his character, but I like that he that from what I understand they're just like big apes that just can toss people around no problem. They probably have a fighting style, but it's more just punch you in the face really hard until you die. And this is great. I mean, it took like what, like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people just to capture him, not like barely wound him.
What took 3 people and 4 Power Rangers to take him down?
Boba, the 4 bikers, the 2 pigs, and
Bro, the pigs don't even know how to fight. Like
No,
I remember Frank telling me, "Ooh, I want to see him and Black fight." And when I'm watching this, I'm like, "Oh, Frank gets his chance. Here we go. It's gonna be sick." I'm so happy for Frank. And then they're like,
yeah, it was dumb.
and I'm like, "Holy shit, they're useless."
It looked bad.
I wouldn't say useless because they
were useless.
They're pretty
in
they're
that
pretty
fight.
fucking
Yes.
useless.
I mean, in the first episode, they were pretty useful.
Yeah, against
pretty useful.
non-Wookiees.
Well, it's a Wookiee.
Not
This one's on steroids. This guy's got to be juicing. He's fucking big. And that boy's drinking the high C. I don't know what to tell you, but
Oh my god, I'm about to put this fight back on just so I could see.
It wasn't done
Watch
right.
it.
It wasn't done right
Watch
at
it.
all.
Please do.
Like-
Again, like I don't know. It felt because again, like it made Black feel like a threat because like.
But then he wasn't in the same fight.
Then he jogs away all silly about it.
Yeah, he's like,
Desert.
all right, I'm gonna go be a Bigfoot.
Dumb.
I mean,
Like
Fight it.
when you
This-
write things that happened on
this
paper, it's really cool. But when you see them happen, it's like they look cheesy and weak.
yeah, I mean, it's hard to tell because like this, for some reason, this does feel like it's having not Disney humor, like Marvel humor in it, and that's definitely a scene you would see something out of Marvel that, whoop, here we go, just take off. I said this in the group chat. They can still turn it around. I am enjoying the show. It's not. It doesn't have that same wow. Like I need to watch the next episode right now, like Mando did. But they can still turn it around. But I am starting to think that Rodriguez was the wrong guy to give it to, and I feel bad for saying that because I championed him big time.
You guys are talking about only about
episode.
this episode, right?
Well, for me, as a whole, I'm starting to get a little bit impatient with my attention span, waiting week after week for some vague mystery, only to be remarkably underwhelmed at what's being put on the screen. I don't know. I want to see where it's going, and I trust them, but I'm just a little impatient right now.
No, I can agree on that.
Yeah, it's tough, man. I mean, again, like I stand by the thing. I stand by what I think I said in the podcast last week or something like that. That they're showing too much human side of Fett instead of focusing on the now and his future plans. We're spending too much time on his past and trying to. Basically, we're taking a legend and making him human. It hurts.
I pretty much agree with that as well. That scene where he's like, oh, like he's petting the Rancor.
Yeah.
Oh, being cutesy with it. It's pretty cool. But when you think back, did you, prior to all of the Mandalorian stuff, would you ever think that Boba Fett would be cuddling with a Rancor, tickling it, hugging it?
Okay.
No,
now go back to that time and say that again, and you'll be like, "Fuck yeah!" Awesome. I want to see that right fucking now. But now you're like, no, we don't want this.
Yeah.
To be fair, this is not the Boba Fett that we knew and loved and cherished in Return of the Jedi. When he got out of that pit and got with those Tusken Raiders, that changed the man. So we also have to remember that part. I mean,
but I disagree because Mando was right before this, and he was a completely different character, 100% different character.
He was more to himself. Now, granted, we didn't follow him like we are right now, so we're seeing the back end of Boba Fett. And granted, that's probably what we didn't want. Like Disney didn't understand us. But if you think about it, when we see him with the helmet on, he is the same Boba Fett from Mando. Like he's more serious and all that. He's closer to it. If he's not the exact copy, he's pretty close to it. It's just
he puts on a different persona when he has it. He's fully geared up.
I mean,
and the line is blurred because we see him without his helmet, and then we see him with his helmet,
which is fine. But again, he literally stood in a bar, ready to throw hands with Bo for insulting him, and he's like my last voice will be the last one you ever hear. And then in here, some rep at a desk going, "You had no appointment. You should come back later. So sorry. We'll try to fit you in later." He's like, "Oh shit. Well, I guess I'll take a ticket and wait." Okay.
That reminds me is that they're focusing so much on character actors that it gets annoying because every person he runs into is like, a real tryhard and like, it doesn't feel natural. Like
I got
it's different. Yeah. It's different. It's just not the same.
I can see that for sure.
Yeah. It's
like, oh, this guy's quirky. Oh, this guy's quirky too, and this just becomes annoying. It's like, dude, not everybody has to be funny and like acting stupid. And
it's very true.
I think he's starting to get that. I'm still hung up on the humanized version of Boba Fett right now. He's starting to get that effect that Michael Myers had later on in the series when we knew way too much about him, where he wasn't the shadow anymore. He's starting to lose that edge, that secrecy that made him so cool and popular.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, yeah, like again, like it all just comes back to that thing where I think they don't understand or they misunderstood what we liked about him. It's like he's a badass. That's what he is. And for like an episode and a half, a couple episodes in Mando, they're like, yes, this is the type of what we've always wanted to see. Like he's no nonsense in your face. He will bust your head open in a second. But he never raises his voice. He was very calm, but he was very threatening. And here, he feels like your uncle. He's just like, hey guys, what's up? You guys want a job? Come on over. I got you. It's cool.
Them taking on like this Western vibe, which I love a lot. I really thought that they were gonna adapt, kind of mirror like the Man with No Name, Clint Eastwood character. I thought that's what they were going to do with Boba. And again, we're only episode 3 in, so I don't know where they're going with this, but it's.
Well, it's funny when an unknown Mandalorian is more badass and more lovable than the OG who's been there for 30 years and you've loved for 30 years.
Yeah, it's tough.
Like, how did you guys do that?
Look what they've done to my boy.
And episode 2 was such a turnaround for me, where I was like, okay, this is what I was expecting.
Yeah,
exactly.
They're doing a great job here, and I was like, okay, let's bring on episode 3. And it's like, oh fuck, so we're gonna get every time Robert's around, dumbass episode that I don't want to see.
Yeah, and the thing is, I know he can make good stuff. Like the Alita Battle Angel is a great movie. Like it was one of my favorite movies. I think whenever it came out, I can't remember, but that was like he can actually still make good movies. But for some reason, I feel like he's throwing too much of his stuff in there that just makes him quirky, like and different on purpose. I don't know. Like the cyberpunk rejects that stumbled onto Turbo Force, stole their vehicles, and then came to this show over here. It just feels a little awkward at times. But even with that being said, though, I still am at a point where I do want to see more, just out of like curiosity to see what was going to happen next. But I don't know if by episode 4, by the end of that episode, if it will be good curiosity or more like this is a train wreck and I want to see everything burn. So I don't know.
Oh, I've watched the prequels. I've watched the new trilogy, and I'm still here. So there's nothing
exactly
to turn me off, because I'll be like, oh wait, that can happen there. All right, let's watch it again. Like
Mhm.
if the trilogy, or I'm sorry, if the prequels could be saved, I believe this could be saved. And I
Heck
feel
yeah.
like the prequels were saved, especially after watching Clone Wars and all that.
Sure, but that was a lot of
Yeah.
episodes, though. Like, yeah,
For-
yeah, save it.
Sure, but it doesn't have to be saved in this one. It could be saved
Right.
somewhere else. It could be saved in Mandalorian season 3 or something like that. You know, it
Sure,
could be
sure.
saved in Ahsoka. Who knows? But
Right.
what I'm saying is that I do believe whatever is going to happen. Hopefully, the Power Rangers die on the Death Star. No, there's no Death Star. Well, just die somewhere, and then
Die.
we'll be good.
Just
But
die.
yeah.
I get that, and I mean, yeah. Again, like I'm having a feeling that this isn't just a one-off. I think they're gonna make another season, if not already geared to make one. They're just waiting to announce it because I heard I don't know if it's a rumor or not, but there's talks of Bo getting her own show as well. So
Who?
that could always Bo Katan.
Bo-Tan.
Yeah,
Oh,
Katan.
yeah.
Katan. Yeah. That she
Yeah.
might be getting her own little. I don't know if it'll be like a mini series spinoff or like an actual like series, ongoing series, but they have to make up for Rangers, so I guess they're gonna bring her in. But yeah. So again, yeah, there's always opportunity to fix it. It's just don't wait too long, and not with this character because this character is a slam dunk, and they seem to be fouling it every chance they get. So. Unfortunately, but
Unfortunately, he was an awesome character because no one knew anything about him.
yeah,
Like,
and
Yeah.
it should have stayed that way.
And New Hope, he was just on the fucking screen. I didn't even realize he was in New Hope for years, dude. And I was like, oh, that's Boba Fett.
Yeah,
And I started thinking about Lucas and all that. Like, he had all this shit fucking planned. I'm like,
Yeah.
holy shit. But anyway, yeah, man, I feel like it still could be saved.
oh sure.
And I don't know. I don't know how I'm gonna think the Power Rangers are cool. I just can't. I can't see myself thinking it is. So I don't know.
They're like
Yeah.
the Boba version of Jar Jar.
Ooh.
That's tough, man.
But
That's
see,
Last words.
but see,
CW
but Jar Jar never became cool. Can we agree on that? Like,
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like they'll never be
Yeah.
cool. They'll be like the Jar Jar of
oh, I get you.
yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty straightforward. It's hard times to be a Star Wars fan. It really is. Because you get something amazing, and then you get
It's a
the
roller
main
coaster
movies.
ride.
Yeah, and it's just like, can you just be good? You're Star Wars. It shouldn't be this hard. It's just Star
Yeah.
Wars, man. It's fucking Star Wars. It's not that hard.
Starting to get too many hands in the pot.
Yeah. But well, that's our little wrap up of Boba Fett.
Holy crap! That's not even our episode.
Yeah.
My brain was thinking, oh,
We're at the
we're
end.
almost done with this episode. Holy crap, we got a whole episode to go. We're only 18 minutes in. Here we
yourself,
go.
We're
It's just-
we're in for the long haul.
Oh, man.
But yeah, I mean, I think even with all the negativity that you've heard right now, we still are very much on board. We just have high hopes that it'll do better and can be better.
High hopes. We got high apple
High
pie in the sky.
Ooh, look at
Funny
you.
because I'm the only one who doesn't know what's happening.
I don't think. Does anyone know where that's from?
I don't
I
know.
got
I
the
got it
words
from a
wrong.
Gil
Goofy
was like
movie.
flying a plane.
Yeah.
Gil,
Sonny was laughing.
holy crap, he got it.
What did he
It's
say?
Powerline, man. Come on, man.
Did-
No, it's not
Goofy
Powerline,
movie.
but I mean, it's a great movie though.
That's
That
funny.
is truly a great
That's
movie.
probably my favorite Disney movie.
It's fantastic.
Wow.
Wow.
I'm definitely
wow.
my last.
I think
Wow.
one of my new favorite Disney movies is on my list.
Spaghettios. Well, I guess last minute thoughts on Boba Fett, or are we all good?
Oh, good. Bye.
Good.
We better turn around next week. That's the only note that I have.
Yeah.
In the immortal words of the Brink movie, just do better.
Just
So that's gonna be it for the Boba Fett talk. Hopefully we'll have better words next week. So let's move on to our main topic, which is, again, as I said earlier, our top 10 favorite films of 2021 with a couple of side categories. Top 3 most disappointing films. Top 3 favorite shows. That's just more if you guys can come up with it. That wasn't necessarily something that was needed. And then some honorable mentions that didn't quite make it on the list for one reason or another. So, how do you guys want to do this? Flip a coin, fight to the death.
Well, Gus goes first.
All right.
Robin from there.
Yeah, let's go there.
All right.
I'll start.
Yep.
10-1.
10-1. Yeah.
So
I thought that was the name of the movie.
Oh.
I'm like, 10-1. Didn't even hear about that.
Pulling up his phone, he's like IMDb 10-1.
Like if you do the playback and I hear him say 10-1, you can see my face go.
Huh?
He's quickly to the side, like on his computer, trying to figure out what.
I got my phone, my monitor, everything going. Like, what's 10-1? All right, I'm sorry.
Number 10. I'm gonna go with Free Guy. I
Oh.
surprisingly liked that a lot. I really was not expecting it. So I think it was just I had low hopes for it. It jumped up.
Oh, hopes.
I had a lot of fun. Low hopes. Number 8. And as much.
Wait, are we all just doing it at once? Are we
yeah.
doing
Let's do
A loop.
Yeah, loop. So
loopy de loop?
Okay.
yeah, so sticking with your number 10 for Free Guy, did you want to talk about it a little bit more? Why you like this so much? Was there certain aspects, or it was just good?
I think it was just a lot of fun. One of my favorite movies that I have no reason to like as much as I do is Ready Player One, and it kind of reminded me a little bit. It might be the outside pop culture stuff that had its way into Free Guy, the movie, especially that very end where he holds up Captain America's shield and the Avengers song hits. I thought that was a lot of fun. I got pretty giddy about that.
Isn't that pretty cool when a movie could do that? Like somehow, some way, they got all the rights for it. Like that's pretty cool.
I had a good time with it. That's basically all it was. I had a really fun time with it.
Yeah.
Unexpectedly.
My whole list is fun time with it. There's nothing like good on my list. It's like just a bunch of fun.
Damn. Oh, that's fair.
You know what I mean? It's not like people are gonna be like, "Oh, this is the most award-worthy movie that nobody saw."
No, it's this is again, people. These are our favorites. I'm ready to fight. So if you want to, you want to add me, we can do it all day, every day. But that's just me.
So. All right, man. Just don't let this be a 3-year joke, all right?
That's our menu. I don't know what to tell you.
I thought it was hilarious. It was good.
Free Guy. Yeah,
good listen.
Right?
Free Guy. So that's number 10 for Gil's Free Guy. Who would like to go up next with their number 10?
I want to say probably Free Guy probably would have been on my list, but I didn't finish watching it for one thing or the other. And it's not like it had me bored. I just wasn't invested as much as I wanted to be to finish it.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say Free Guy probably would have been on there, but I just didn't make it. I'll go.
All right.
It's a movie that I recently saw.
Okay.
It had actors in there that I was already sold with. As soon as I heard all these actors' names, I'm like, I'm gonna like it and I'm gonna watch it. And I forgot about it, and then it came out, and I'm like, oh yeah, all those actors are in there. I want to see it. And then I didn't. And then it finally came out on digital. I'm like, here's my chance, and the list is coming up, so I watched it. So this movie had Ben Affleck in there, Matt Damon, and Adam Driver. So if you don't already know, I'm talking about The Last Duel. And this probably could have been one of the more disappointing movies that I've watched this year. And to be honest, this list sucks because I just looked at it and I looked at all the movies that came out this year. I'm like, I I don't remember watching any of these. It's more like catch up stuff and series and stuff like that. So unfortunately, when I watched this one, I was super happy with it, but just the editing on it, man. The editing really had me thrown off where it was going a little more artsy than it should have. And I'm like, my boys are in here, so I'll watch it, but I'm not enjoying this. But the last fight is probably the best fight that I've seen in a while, with knights
Heck
and
yeah.
stuff like that. That thing had me pumped. And that's the only reason why that's probably on this list right now, because of that fight. So that is my number 10.
I want to watch now.
Okay.
Did you get to see it, Sonny?
I did not get to see it.
It is on HBO Max now. If you do,
Yes.
I
have
actually
it.
missed both of these, Free Guy and
That's
my-
correct.
It came out today, I think, on HBO Max.
Today or
Uh,
yesterday?
Yesterday.
Today or
Alright.
yesterday? Yes.
I watched that movie 2 days ago and paid,
Oh.
to rent it. not
Damn.
knowing that it came out. I was
They got us.
I was so pissed.
All these
But
things
yeah,
are
I
good.
agree. I was actually texting Sonny right after I saw the movie, explaining like, man, when I first saw the trailer for it, I was jacked also to see this movie, especially with the director of Gladiator.
Yeah, but his name is kind of stale already, man. Like Ridley Scott.
I guess.
Like when I saw his name, I'm like, crap. All right, but continue.
I
And
think it
he's
was
been talking
directed
smack about
like
MCU.
pretty poorly. Nothing against
Yeah.
Ridley Scott, but the direction that they went with was a little odd because they tell the same story 3 times, and there was like one specific scene that was hard to watch twice. I don't want to
Yeah.
give it away, but it's it's not fun to watch ever.
And
let alone
unfortunately,
3
not
times.
not even only that. Like you almost have to take notes for this thing because
Yeah.
I'm a guy who appreciates watching something and then going back and watching it again and seeing what are the differences and stuff like that. But I feel like the differences were so small that I didn't have that much fun. Like when an actor was telling, when the one story is being told and then you see it again, you don't see that too much of a difference there. Very,
Yeah.
very subtle, but not enough where I could be like, oh yeah, that's pretty cool. They changed it up a little bit because this guy thinks this way. No, yeah. Number 10.
Number 10. All right.
I really don't know if you guys will like it. I really
That final
don't know.
scene though, that final scene that Manny was talking about is
Yeah.
worth watching
I
though.
think it'll be worth it just for that.
So
'Cause
the
I love any
YouTube, you
battle
say?
The
like that.
opening scene and last scene.
That is true. The opening scene and the last scene. I forgot
Maybe I'll
about the
just
opening
pick the
scene.
rest. Probably take
Yeah, you almost can, but no, actually you can't. You cannot.
Because
Because
then you won't
that-
feel
the
battle.
reason why that battle feels so good, not only because of the hits and the cinematography on that, but you really don't know which way it's going to go. The
Yeah,
story
for
that
real.
was told doesn't even give to that because how can it? It's just a duel. It's
Mhm.
like just fate.
Yeah.
So I think that put in with everything makes it a little bit better, and you gotta watch the whole movie for it. It's like
Check
eat
it
your
out now while it's
vegetables.
free.
Yeah, right. Especially now.
So that is Manny's number 10 is The Last Duel, or Duel, as I like to say. Frank, why don't you give us your number 10 for 2021?
Yeah, sure. Hold on, I want to look at one
Good.
thing.
Sure.
Uh-oh.
Okay. I picked. I don't know even. I'm not sure if this came out this year.
Oh no!
Raya and the Last Dragon. Did that come out this year?
Yes, it did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which one?
Raya and the Last Dragon. Did you see it? Yeah, you did.
Oh my god, I forgot about that movie. I could fit that in here.
For some reason, it stuck in long enough. Just because
I
I,
have not
really
seen
liked
it.
the world building they did. It was just cool to me the way their world was laid out and stuff like that. And had a lot of fun, man. A lot of laughs. Thought all the characters were really likable, and the way they all kind of came together into like a Guardians of Galaxy ending. It was very similar to that. Despite all that, I mean, I just had fun with the movie. I I watched it a lot of times with the kids, and it still held up for me. And it beat a lot of the other animated movies, even ones that I know are better on paper, but out of pure enjoyability, which is what my list is about, this one is number 10 for me.
Sweet.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I remember knowing next to nothing of this movie, and I wasn't a big fan of Aquafina, right? That's her name.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I actually liked her in this. This
Yeah,
is the first time I liked her in anything.
yes. This is the one I turned around. I'm like, you know what? You are hysterical, lady. Just
Yep.
stop doing your racist ass voice, and we're good. But really made it pop in this movie for me. I was like, she was like the standout, and the action was good. I had problems
Yeah,
with the
it was good.
story, but it is fun though, 100%.
Yeah. I think rewatchability factored into this for me because Encanto didn't make the list. I'm going to give you the spoiler right now.
You son of a bitch.
Wow.
It's really good. It
I
is
disown you.
damn good. I
Wow.
appreciate it so much, but it's not rewatchable to me. So it
Wow.
kind of,
All
like,
right.
I get
Sorry.
tired of the singing after a while where I'm like, just another damn song. Like, I'm on the 30th song and I'm just kind of, I want this
You
to be
Mexican.
over.
I don't understand.
Like that kind of
That-
thing.
You're like music. I
I-
hate music.
I could understand where you're going with that.
You know what I mean?
No,
So,
you can't. You're a horrible
with
person.
this one,
I
I
hate
could
you.
watch it 10 times and I'm good. Like, I still like it.
I
So,
actually did not watch Encanto at all.
Oh well.
It's a little harder for me because
We'll give you a pass.
one, I don't have kids, and
Yeah.
two,
What?
I saw it
You have
today.
Disney Plus.
I do, and I went into Disney Plus, and I was gonna push play, and I
man.
forget what I ended up going with instead because I had time for one more movie before we went
Yeah.
on,
well, and it just
and I was disappointed with the movie choice that I made. I think it was called The Lost Daughter on Netflix.
Oh God.
Now
that
I
sounds
really
horrible.
wish I would have watched Encanto.
Oh
No,
man.
That's funny.
yeah, it's good and everything. Just, yeah, this one for me made number 10.
I jest, but also screw you. Number my number 10 on my list is going to. So this was I didn't finalize until about 10 minutes before we started doing this, but Army of the Dead is my number 10. I like it when a
that came out too.
yeah, I like it when a director goes balls to the wall nuts. It didn't work out last time for him. With for personally for me for what was it? Sucker Punch. But I will give it to him that at least he went all out with it. With Army of the Dead, this one felt a little more refined from his craziness. The zombies were great. The scenes were awesome. I enjoyed most of the characters, not all of them, but most of them were really cool. They were fun to watch, and I actually wanted to some to live because I'm like, no, you're kind of cool, stay. I like the world building. There wasn't much of it, but there was enough in there to kind of get you intrigued on what's going on and what's gonna happen next and how do we get here. And it is a pretty long movie. I think it's like 2.5 hours, almost 2 hours 40 minutes or something like that.
It's a little bit long.
It's a little bit long, but I didn't really feel it.
Not really.
It was really fun. It was great. I forgot her name. The first lady to die. She's like a stunt woman, and she had an amazing scene that kind of
where they're walking through the quiet hallway thing.
Yeah, and
that was so good.
that set the pace for the whole movie. I'm like, perfect. This is how you do you build your action scenes, and that's how you start. It's really good. So and Dave Bautista, man, the man connect. I don't know
It's
how.
great at the end.
I
He's
love
fucking good.
Batista.
He is a fucking good actor, man. It blows my mind. But yeah, our Army of Dead for sure. Now definitively in my number 10 spot.
Cool.
Let's kick it over to Gil for number 9.
Number 9. This got a lot of heat. I don't know why it was shit on so bad, but I enjoyed it a lot. It's Many Saints of Newark. I'm a huge Sopranos fan, and I wasn't I mean, I had like pretty high hopes for it, and I was curious to see what story they were going to tell, but I wasn't expecting for that twist at the end. And I thought it was pretty cool, and I thought it was a good way to set up the series. If you've never watched the series, to have that much hate for a character going in that we have grown to hate from season 1 and on. With are spoilers allowed? With
no. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. 'Cause
Okay.
people are probably watching this and they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna watch it," because
right. Check it out.
Spoiled a bunch of little things already, though. Like, I don't know.
Check it out
I'm
and then
not
watch
overly
Sopranos.
spoiler. Like, don't.
Speaking of Captain America Shield's not that. I mean,
But I don't know. Did it got a lot of
Black.
negative feedback
Yeah.
from it. Did you
Yeah.
guys watch like it?
I don't know.
I might
anything
talk about it on my list.
He might or might not. I never got around to watch it yet. It just wasn't high on my list enough. But I will watch it. Just it was recent. So.
Okay.
I liked it. Gil, did you rewatch any Sopranos before watching that, or what was your preparation for that movie, if any?
So as soon as I found out it was coming, I wanted to watch it all over again. My wife had never seen Sopranos, so it was a good opportunity to just start from the beginning, watch it all. I wasn't expecting her to like it so much, and we were pretty hooked. I gained a good amount of weight because every time I would watch it, I'd want to eat pasta. So it was a blast to go through that all over again, and I had a bigger appreciation for the final scene of that series because not accidentally I went back and watched the last 2 episodes before the last over again to see if there's something that I would miss to understand that last scene better. And there is something there that made a whole lot of sense. And I'm okay with the ending of that series now.
Yeah.
As controversial as that was.
Yeah, that rewatching it all and rewatching that scene, it felt a little bit better second time around than the first time.
There's clues. There's little clues there in the first episode or first episode of the last season and the very end. Yeah, on the boat. Yep. Exactly. You pay attention to what's being said on that boat, you'll understand that final scene a whole lot more.
That's such a fucking good series, dude.
I loved it.
So good.
There's not too many series either that it's good all the way until the very end. It's awesome.
I will say the end was a little weaker than everything. But you're right.
Still pretty solid through and through.
I think you guys should watch Sopranos if you haven't already. Sonny, have you watched it?
So we've had this conversation before, and you got mad at me. But
God,
I watched. So I didn't like the series overall, but I was younger.
Did it?
No, I didn't. But I was younger when I watched it. I liked Tony Soprano because I thought James Gandolfini was awesome, but I was probably a little too young to kind of take it all in and kind of really appreciate it. So I don't know how soon, but I do plan on sitting down and watching the series and see what I probably didn't understand the first time or maybe didn't catch. So
the best part too, it hasn't really aged. Like there are some stuff in there, like an old like the payphones and stuff like that. But once you're in that, DVDs. Once you're in it, like you could buy into it. I think it's pretty easy to buy into it because it'll remind you that it's not now. It's a little bit backwards,
right?
In the past. So, the great fucking series. You guys should watch it.
Yeah,
and enjoyed the movie too. Saints.
Very nice.
Okay, so I guess I'm next.
Yes, sir.
All right. I will probably have to say, which I kind of want to put The Last Dragon in this too, Raya and the Last Dragon, because I mean, My daughter had surgery when that movie came out. We all kind of watched it. So, and I've watched that many, many times. And Aquafina was pretty fun to listen to in that one. But since I forgot about it, I'm not going to put it on here. I will say the next one is Reminiscence with Hugh Jackman. Now, I will say that in all, with The Last Duel included, in all, HBO Max movies have kind of been a disappointment. Like those straight to HBO Max, they've a lot of them have been disappointing. Reminiscence kind of teetered that. I had fun with it. The story got me hooked enough because it's still this world, but there was just like this horrible accident or weather thing, or I forgot what, where water's everywhere, this huge flood, and people are just living with it. So I kind of like seeing that kind of world where it's a different world that we're used to, but it's still the same. And then also the ending on it had me enough where I accepted it and I was okay with it. And so that's why it made it on the list with that.
Nice. I have not seen this. I completely forgot it came out. I might have to go give it a chance.
I have not seen it. I just wrote it down right now.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's enough where it's almost like a cheap version of Inception. A little bit.
I'll take it.
With a mix of maybe Minority Report, maybe.
Oh.
I think I think it is, and I just kind of remembered why it's on my list. But yeah, I think you guys should probably just watch it. Hugh Jackman is awesome. His range is great, man.
Guy's amazing. Yeah, he really is.
Super, super appreciated. But
thanks, Russell Crowe.
Yeah.
Thanks, Russell Crowe.
Thanks, bro. He gave us what you couldn't all these years.
Frank, did you get to watch this movie at all, or?
No, I think I did briefly see it featured on HBO, and then I always attracted to anything Hugh Jackman is a part of, but I just never got around to it, and then it went away so quickly that it just I had no staying power. I completely forgot it was even a thing.
Yeah.
But no, I did not watch it.
Okay. I think this one was gone pretty quick, and that's why we wanted to watch it. And I don't watch enough movies anymore with Violet, and she wanted to watch it, and we're like, yeah, why not?
Nice. Tight.
Good reason.
Yeah. So, Frank, why don't you go ahead and give us your number 9?
Alrighty. Let me go to my list. The Forever Purge.
Ooh, Forever Purge.
I was a little done with the Purge. I liked the first one because it came out of nowhere and it was a really cool idea and everything. So that was probably the freshest one. But the next two were actually not bad. And then after that, I really fell off because I felt like the quality really dropped, and then I just wasn't invested anymore. This one, I'm trying to remember, is this the 5th? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Jesus.
Might even be the 6th.
Purge, Anarchy, Election Year, the first Purge, the television show. So it's number 5.
Number 5. So anyway, I'll just get back to what I was trying to say. I didn't have much hope for it, and I just kind of watched it because it was something that was available. But I really love the tension here. The acting was surprisingly good for being mostly people I don't think I've ever heard of before. But I felt the tension, and I felt like they had good ideas, and it was fun in a weird way. Like, I don't know if that's going to make sense to call it fun because it's kind of dark and scary. But anyway, it was one of the better action movies, and I think there was a lot of action that came out that was really disappointing because it was either very over the top and completely unbelievable, which is completely fine, but there was nothing like, there was kind of like this, like street level, like more real, like more danger was actually felt, because as scary as it would be for somebody to like shoot a rocket launcher at you, it's more scary to me to be in the situations that were presented in the Forever Purge. So I don't know, it just kind of hit something there, and it was almost too real at times because
Yeah,
So
yeah,
many bad things happen in the real world that it's kind of like, oh man, this is like too close to home. I'm trying
yeah,
to
yeah.
escape here, not like, remember bad things that actually happened. But anyway, I thought it was definitely worth watching. I hope this kind of does something for the Purge in general, because the concept is almost unlimited. As you've seen, they're willing to milk it for every last dollar it's worth. But for a while there, it looked like it was just about done.
Yeah.
Anyway, this was pretty good for me, so I give it a number 9.
Yeah. Yeah. So, this was one of the like struggles I have with the 10th spot. The Army Dead won out by a chin of it, by a hair of his chin. But I really enjoyed this. This was the first movie I saw in theaters this for 2021. I think it came out like early January or like mid January, and I was like, I gotta go. I love this franchise. I think the reason why I didn't make my list was because there was a couple of purge things that are like the very purgy, where it's like, oh, that's over the top stupid, or like you pick a really weird bad guy, but
Yeah,
overall it is really it is really fun. It is one of the better purge movies.
yeah,
I did have a lot of fun with it.
definitely.
So moving off to that, I'm gonna go with my number 9. My number 9 is Netflix Kate with Mary Elizabeth Winstead. This movie for me, just it was hitting all cylinders for the most part. I thought the cinematography, the camera work, the set design, the action scenes were great. The reason why it's not higher on my list is because where the movie should have ended, they kept going for like another like 25 minutes, maybe 20 minutes. And although those last 20
Yeah,
minutes had some really nice visuals, they dragged that shit out too long. Um, they turned a cameo into like a main villain, and it was like, oh, this is unnecessary. This you could have ended this perfect right for like 20 minutes earlier. But I've seen
yeah,
it a couple times since it's come out. I absolutely love it. I guess the action would be more in line with like Extraction and John Wick than like let's say like a Jackie Chan movie or a Purge movie. It's kind of more along those lines where she gets beat up, and you see it on her face throughout the whole movie.
yeah.
Um,
And she's not like an invincible killing machine who's,
right.
she's definitely very human. I love it when they do that,
Yeah.
when they do it
Yeah.
well.
And I mean, I'm a huge fan of Mary Elizabeth Weinstein, anyways,
Hmm.
and I already saw it in Birds of Prey and in Gemini Man where she can do action pretty well, but this one with with whoever was in charge of all the stunts and fights, it kind of made her even more badass in this movie, the way it was shot and filmed. Because I compared this to Gunpowder Milkshake, which came out in 2021, where that was all style and very little substance, and the action was to okay. This one kind of like fixed all that issues and did it better. So for
Yeah.
that, it gets my number 9 spot.
Sweet.
Um,
Wrote it down. I'm gonna check it out.
yes, please do
It's
check it
worth a
out.
watch, definitely.
So let's go ahead and number 8 for Gil. What you got for us?
Dune. The only
Nice.
reason that it's that far down on my list is because we haven't seen the second half of it yet.
Right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I enjoyed it a lot. I think it's one of the most beautifully shot films I've ever seen.
Mhm.
I am ashamed to say I didn't get a chance to see it in IMAX, but even, from my home screen, it was unbelievable. I read the book beginning of January. Yeah, January 2021. I finally finished it, and
Nice.
I really love the way they adapted it. We'll see what the second half holds, but I love that I don't know if you guys ever saw the HBO movie or the HBO. That's right, last saw it. But the original movie, it was very rushed, very very shallow, as best I can say, movie. This one, they took the time with a lot of the characters. They made a lot of the characters have a bit more of an impact, which I enjoyed. So
Yeah.
I loved it. Can't wait to see where it goes. I'm excited for the rest of the series. Hopefully they have the same creative team on board. But yeah, I loved it.
Yeah.
Like I said, only reason it's that far down is because we haven't seen the second half yet.
Right. That is fair. They kind of snuck that in there, like very last minute, part one. Like what? No, stop anymore.
Oh,
No,
it's too much for one movie. It had to be.
I agree with
It's
you.
real.
That,
It's real. The book is like
it's
a
dense
brick.
as a motherfucker.
Yeah.
It's huge.
You need a encyclopedia just to understand history.
I literally, I that was one of the hardest books I've ever had to read, because I had to have a notebook with it because I kept forgetting names, I kept forgetting locations, I kept forgetting a lot of stuff. Like I needed a map just to figure out what was going on with this story.
Yeah. I do agree with you. This is one of the most beautiful films I've ever seen. I put it right next to The Interstellar. Just like a beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah.
Just I could just have that on the background of my TV all day.
Like the wallpapers. Yeah.
Yeah, and I really did enjoy the movie. I enjoyed more of the lore and the history. Unfortunately, the episode got corrupted, I think, on Spotify, so it missed a lot of that conversation Frank and I had about it, because I geeked out hard on the story stuff. But yeah, I think some of the elements weren't quite there yet where it made it complete. But because even though they had a lot of time, it still felt like they needed more time. Just to tell the first half. There's a lot of shit to go over. But yeah, it's absolutely a beautiful movie.
And I think we've yet to see what it's hard to talk about it without giving anything away. But I've read the first couple books. Since then, I became obsessed with it since the beginning of the year. So it's going to take a very controversial take as soon as these movies come out. I know it's gonna spark a lot of controversy with America, with the world, and everything. Once people start watching it, because I know that the readers back in the day were kind of split with this.
Dun, dun,
So
dun.
we'll see.
Yeah, we're definitely getting part two, so at least that's good.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if we
after
weren't
all
getting
that,
part
we're
two?
like, nope. We're done. Jesus Christ. Hey, but what would happen to your list though? Would it fall off or would it still stay because of how beautiful it was?
Wait, say that again.
Like if for real, like we weren't getting part two, what would happen to part one on your list? Like would it still make it?
Yeah, I think so. If we weren't getting part one, I would still rate it as just that, and it would probably be a whole lot higher because I'd give it the respect that as a film individually, it deserves. But there's another movie on my list that I rated as a whole, so that's why I had to give it the same fair treatment.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Unfortunately, I'm boring because the next one for me is going to be Dune, and it's almost the same thing that Gil said. It says it's not a complete film. So yeah, I'm not going to rehash it. So sorry for being boring.
Bum, bum, bum. That's all right.
No,
it deserves to be on the list. If it is or isn't, either way, check it out because this thing is beautiful to watch. I can't say that. I can't stress that enough, guys. Listeners at home, it's beautiful. So we'll go ahead and skip over Frank. Why don't you give us your number 8 for us, buddy?
Sure. Number 8, Army of the Dead.
Heyo.
What is the previous? Oh no, Dawn of the Dead. That's right.
Yes.
When I saw that, it completely changed like my young life. When I saw that for the first time in theaters, I was like, "This is incredible!" Like it just did so many new things, and I think he's done
incredible.
something similar here, like where he's revamped or maybe just done something that nobody has done with zombies yet. And I did enjoy Dave Bautista a lot more. more than Drax, because it's kind of a one-note character, and
Oh yeah.
I don't know, he never got his closure, that character and stuff like that. So I liked the father-daughter thing at the end. I thought he acted it very well, and the action was there. I think this lived up to the hype, man. I was really hoping for something really good, and like I said, Dawn of the Dead it's one of my most rewatched movies, I would say. Like, I'll just randomly, at least once a year, I'll be like,
Nice.
time for Dawn of the Dead again. And so this one,
yeah.
yep, number 8. It was pretty good.
Nice. Solid pick. For me, number 8 is going to be the Amazon Prime original, The Tomorrow War. Oh boy, it is really good for
Liked
the first 3/4 of the film. The action is fantastic. I love the creature designs in here. I even love how I love Christopher Nolan. I won't say I love Christopher Nolan. I really like his work a lot. The biggest problem I have with him sometimes that he makes shit too complicated for no reason, just because he can. He's like, I'm smart and you will watch me be smart. And in this, they kind of explain how or like give a theory like why certain people look a certain way from the future, or why they send a certain type back and send certain people back into the future. And it's like, yeah, simple conversation, two smart people having a conversation going, it's probably because of this reason. Okay, cool. Let's move on. We're not going to dwell on it for too long. And once we actually get to the actual action in the future, it hits the ground running immediately. It as soon as they go, hey, all right, you're gonna make the jump. It just go time.
Yeah.
Full steam ahead. Chris Pratt, he can be hit or miss for me when it comes to like acting stuff. Like, I love him in Parks and Rec. He's hilarious as Andy Dwyer. And then in some other movies I see him in, like Passenger, I'm like, it might have been out of your reach. But in this, it was perfect because he's supposed to be that ex-soldier who's seen some stuff, so he's not really good at emotions, but when he needs to, he can do it. It is solid, and I love hard sci-fi, but I also love sci-fi films that know how to have fun, and this definitely knows how to have fun. Until we got to like the last 20 minutes, 30 minutes of the film. That part was fine. I mean, unfortunately, we are getting a part 2, but I felt like instead of stretching this out, we'll just end it in one movie, and that's what it felt like. But now we're getting a part 2, so that kind of brings down just a little bit. But yeah, man, it's just really solid fun. If you're looking for good action and some decent acting and a cool future story, check this out. A couple of twists in there, nothing too crazy, but they are pretty good, and I think they're well earned. So, The Tomorrow War for me is my 8.
Good choice.
Nice.
Go ahead and kick it up to.
Go ahead.
Keep going.
Number 7 for me, and it's funny because Sonny, you recommended this movie to me, but I didn't respond saying that I actually did see it, and because it was actually on my list already. Boss Level. I enjoyed that movie a lot. I stumbled upon that by accident, and or maybe you guys talked about it before. But it was a lot of fun. It totally reminded you of a video game.
Yeah.
And unlike the when we were just Last Duel, where you're repeating the same story over and over again, every single time I didn't mind it as much, and it was good story, good heartfelt stuff, good adaptation of everything this guy's doing. Even at the very end, I was satisfied with everything, and it leaves you with like a little wink. It's not a serious ending, it's a literal wink at the very very end. So it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it a lot. So when you text me recommending it to me, I was like, "Ooh, yeah, I already checked it out." It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's good. That movie had a weird shelf life where it was supposed to come out 2019. It got pushed, and then it was limited release through like a festival thing, which I did for 2020. So I actually saw it like a year before it came out.
Oh.
But then it made its official U.S. release through Hulu this year. So it was crazy. It took forever to get here, but that's probably because of Mel Gibson's in it, and he had and 2019 was still a little fresh, I guess. Like, hey, shut up. But he's kind of back now, for better or for worse. I'm a fan of him, but as a person, I really can't speak good about him. But as an actor, I think he's great.
Who, Grillo?
Yeah. So
He's done bad things in real life?
Mel Gibson.
Yeah.
He's just outspoken.
Oh, Mel Gibson. I thought you said
yeah.
Frank Grillo.
Oh no 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 no
Like,
no no no
what
no
have
no
you
no
done?
no.
Like, what?
Frank Grillo is the man. I love him. But
Have you
yeah,
seen
so-
Wheelman, Gil?
No, I have
Oh,
not.
dude, go watch it right
Yeah, it's
after
good.
this. Go watch it
Yeah.
before you go to bed.
Yeah,
You'll have fun with it. It was
it's
good.
good. Yeah. So
I think we oversold it to Manny, and then he was like, "You guys are kind of full of shit," but it was good.
Yeah, sure.
Wingman. Let's
We
see.
should have oversold
Wheelman.
Daredevil season 3 to him.
Yeah,
You know
we
what?
couldn't-
I mean,
we couldn't shut up about it, but at
he
least
says
knows
that,
it,
but
so.
I told him that was one of the best
Dude, we
TV
kept
seasons
saying it.
ever, and he's like, okay, I'll check it out. So
Man, I can't say he did. Can't
I
say you
did.
guys really.
Somebody find clips throughout all 80-something episodes. Be like, here, mother effer, there's 6 minutes worth.
I think that episode was like not that long ago either, where you guys. And from what I remember, I remember Sonny, mentioning it, but I don't know. I'm on the fence here. Manny might be right. You might have just said it like, "Oh yeah, check it
Well,
out."
and
For sure,
then,
check
and
it
then the
out. But,
problem
like,
is
it wasn't.
too, and
You
the
guys
problem
also
is,
told
like
me
a monologue.
that
well,
you told me that Kingpin wasn't in it a lot.
that was Frank.
And I'm like,
as I thought.
Yeah. So this is where it gets a little mixed up for us because we had conversations on a group chat outside the podcast, and sometimes it's hard to tell if we did it on air or if we actually did it over text.
Or like,
Which either way, we can search it. But I'm like, yeah, just check it out. Stop it. Just check it out. Because
I was like, yeah, no.
because when Kingpin showed up on somewhere, on
Hawkeye?
YouTube. Well, you're gonna say Hawkeye, but I mean, no one's really seen something like, you never know. But anyways, Hawkeye. On YouTube, everyone was like, "Oh, I had never finished season 3," and I'm just getting pissed. I'm like, "Son of," I would go in the comments, "Watch it. It's fucking amazing." It's just a fantastic season, and I think overall it's a great show. But season 3 just knocks it out the park, 100%.
Heck yeah.
So, the number 7 we were on, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Manny, what is your number 7 for us, buddy?
I'm gonna probably have to say Promising Young Woman
Okay.
for that one.
Yeah.
That came out earlier on in the year. Didn't really know too much about it. I think it was an A24 production, which I'm starting to realize if I see that on the screen, I'm most likely watching it.
Yes, you are.
I can't really remember too much of the story, but I just do remember having a good time with it. And the twist at the end was very satisfying with it. And it's super hard finding a satisfying ending, but that one did have it. So I'm going to say Promising Young Woman.
Nice.
Nice.
I think you told me about this, and I think you said you thought I would probably like this movie.
You 100% would like it.
I never got around to it yet because it felt like it came out a couple years ago for some reason.
Because it feels like an old movie.
Yeah, right. I'm like, damn. Never mind. I'm gonna have to go.
This is for you, man. You should definitely watch it.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have to go
see?
track that down. I don't know. It's a good thing or a bad thing, but we're gonna find out, I guess.
It's a good thing. Don't worry.
Good. Okay, good. Because I know with you two, my recommendations either get buried and stomped and then set on fire, or you go, it's not bad. So
Shut up,
it's
man.
kind of hard
That's
to
not
Have you guys watched Streets of Fire yet?
No,
No, I
keep
forgot about
seeing
Streets
his
of
face
Fire.
every time I look at my list because it's still there. I'm like,
William
ah,
Dafoe, right?
Yeah.
William.
Who would have known William Dafoe was going to show up in No Way Home? Who would have known?
Who would have known?
Would have known. How does that song go? Never mind.
Up on the is that where you're?
Now you're singing my stuff.
How does it go?
Something about Christmas, like, up on the rooftop.
Who wouldn't know? Ho, 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 ho.
Yeah,
That one?
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
the
that one.
All right, Frank.
who would have known?
I told you it's my last episode. I'm just saying goodbye, man.
Yeah.
This is like the third screw up already.
Stupid.
I don't watch Sopranos. I didn't know his joke. I didn't get his reference. What are you doing, Frank?
Don't worry, Tech.
You're
You're good.
I completely forgot about that song until right this
Yeah.
moment.
Now you're never gonna forget it.
No, heck no, it's up on the list now on the Spotify Christmas list.
Yeah.
Oh shit. See, you can't go anywhere now.
Yeah.
Moving on from that, let's go ahead with Frank's number 7.
Number 7, Malignant.
Woo! Good one.
You guys
God, I
watched it,
forgot
right?
about all these movies.
I know, I did too, man.
Oh,
I started scouring lists because I'm like, what the fudge came out for one, and for two, like, I just forgot everything I watched.
I don't feel bad that's not on my list. Thinking about it.
Yeah, the only reason, man, I was going into it as if I was watching like Saw. Like my mindset was ready for something like that.
Gotcha.
And then I was like, what in the F is going on, dude? Like, I don't know, man. It took me for such a ride, and it was the most unexpected thing, and then it became hilarious. And then there was cool action, and then there was horror, and I was like, this is so unique. I don't know, man.
They really delivered with the whole thing, what the trailers were saying, the most unique. I forgot what exactly they were saying, but they weren't selling it as what we saw. Well, how can I say it?
It's weird. Yeah, it's really hard to say.
It's a lot of genres rolled into one movie.
Correct, and that's what I'm sorry. That's what the trailers were saying, like something along those lines, and it really did deliver. So I do appreciate that.
I had to put it up there. I had fun, and then the second watch was so much more fun because I was like, "Oh, you don't know what you're in for, man." I was like laughing at things more, and it was okay to laugh. Because the first watch, I was like, "Wait, what? I thought this was weird. I thought this was like Saw. I thought,
Yeah.
So anyway, number 7.
That is a very good movie, and that will probably be a cult classic.
100%.
I could see that movie being played at Cigars and Stripes.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Heck yeah.
That's a perfect, and it was okay to be like a B movie, but it wasn't really a B movie. It had every kind of little element to it. So
B movie with somebody who's A-level skills, like
So that is a very awesome pick for you, man. That is very awesome.
That's a good description for it too. It's like a B movie with A-level skills. It just had that feel. That was one of the things that I was telling Sonny about too. That the beginning of it, a lot of the acting is very, very cheesy, but and it worked somehow.
Like
it kind of threw you off guard of what movie you were about to see.
Yeah, definitely. Any professionals like doctors and police, it was like, wait, what? Why are they acting? They're like,
That's a very good choice, man. Good one.
Thanks, man. I feel good about myself now.
Yeah. I've praised that movie so much. I championed for that thing when it soon came. I'm like, everyone needs to watch this right now. Just play it. Don't say nothing. Just do it. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I love that movie with all my heart. So I'll go ahead on with my number 7. My number 7 is Shang-Chi in the Legend of the Ten Rings. I didn't expect to have as much fun as I did with this movie. It is very fun, very funny, and good funny. Like the parts you're supposed to laugh at is funny,
Mhm.
and not like, oops, that looks stupid. I'm gonna laugh.
Yeah.
Action was pretty good. I like the bad guy. I like his father. Because there's a trend recently, and we start to see that more in Marvel as well. Like not just Marvel, but in the world of movies, anyways. But they make a sympathetic bad guy, try to make you like, oh, maybe he's not terrible. Like this man's a bad man, but we could kind of see why he would do the things after a certain event happens in his life. To go like, well, I guess I was always meant to be this way. I'm gonna be what the world expects me to be, and he's really good at it. And I'm god awful with names, so what I'm about to say does make sense if I can't remember his name. But he's an absolute legend. He's been in so many movies.
Only long,
Classic. Thank you. Yes. I mean, he's been in a lot of classics. He's fantastic, and the subtlety of his acting here, where like he never really raises his voice. He's very menacing because because he has those 10 rings, and he can whip your ass in a second. And Aquafina again shows up in here, and I even like her more now because of this. She was a great thing in here. Even when it goes like crazy Lovecraft level of nuts, it was still pretty enjoyable. Even though, again, you get the standard Marvel over the top stuff. I didn't mind it too much in here just because it was different instead of just like a floating castle in the sky, which they've done it at least twice, which is weird to say. But and then Captain America to Winter Soldier to
Black Widow.
Yeah, Black Widow and Captain America, and then maybe one other movie too. I can't remember.
That's one where it didn't work for me. I was like, what the?
Yeah.
Why are you doing this?
That's no for me, dog. But yeah, really fun. I've seen this a couple times now, and I definitely can put it next to like Thor 3, or like I could just rewatch it.
Wow.
Often and enjoy it every time. It is great. So Shang-Chi is my number 7.
The Legend of the Ten Rings.
Correct. So what's your number 6, Gil?
Number 6 for me, it was hard to choose between 5 and 6. Even looking at it now, it's still a toss-up, but I'm gonna go for my number 6. I'm gonna go Blood Red Sky.
Nice.
Sonny actually recommended this to me, and I had a lot of fun. I think I watched the first half of it with German audio and English subtitles. I got a little sick of it, so I went back. I tried to be a purist and watched it all over again, and it was still a lot of fun from the beginning to where I left off. And I loved the pace of it. There were some parts where I felt like, okay, it might be, I didn't really need this, I didn't need that, but I'm only nitpicking right now because it was still a really, really fun movie, beginning to end. I loved everything in a compact set to have it on a plane.
I love that.
I loved the ending of it too. I was worried that it was either going to be too safe of an ending or something that would be a little bit too, one-sided, where you get like some crazy director, that says like let evil win, or kill everybody. But I was happy with the ending. I liked it a lot.
The bad guy was so good in that. Like I just wanted him to die so bad.
Yeah.
Like
from the bone, he showed up. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Man. But then he gets worse. I mean, it's just like.
Yeah, that's very
awesome.
true.
Every time you thought it was about to end, I would look, I'd pause it to see how much time was. Like, oh, holy shit, there's still more to come.
Yeah, it's long.
Yeah,
but I enjoyed it. Good rec. So
yes, thank you. This kind of came out of nowhere for me. Like it just dropped, and I saw the preview, and I saw Mr. H Reviews, I believe his name, on YouTube. He talked about it. I'm like, I'll check it out. I trust that guy enough where I'll check it out. And yeah, it was a great a great vampire movie. Just that's what it is, guys. It's a vampire movie. If that's not your thing, I get it, but it is fantastic. Like I said, it comes out of nowhere, and it surprised me at every turn. The ending is great. I was like, oh shit, they had some balls and did something like good with it instead of like, oh, just roll it off to the sunset.
It was surprising. It was really good.
It's very good. Yeah, I mean that would have made my list, but in a section in this like 6 up to 1, I had watched a couple new movies towards the end that like messed up my whole list. So stuff got bounced around, but that's a great pick for sure.
Oh, yeah.
The dubbing was really good too.
Yes, yeah, that was good.
Very well done.
Which is hard to find nowadays. Yeah. But yeah, so that was your number 6, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Manny, what do you got for us?
I got Godzilla versus Kong.
Heyo.
Man, the lead up to this movie for me was awesome. Kind of rewatching old stuff, of course, watching Godzilla and Godzilla 2 and all that. Yeah, this was super fun, and it hit enough where I was still super excited for it, and it gave me enough little tokens that I could be a nerd and still have fun. And yeah, I still remember buying the original Godzilla versus King Kong from Coconuts.
Yes.
On a whim, that I was like, oh, I like Godzilla. This movie must be good, and it was until Godzilla lost.
Where they sell everything for $24.99.
Dude, and higher.
Yeah.
$27.99.
But Godzilla versus Kong was one of my memorable movies this year. For sure.
Great, man. Beautiful. Really nice job they did on the CGI and the colors and everything.
Yeah, the color especially, I loved it.
Color was that Tokyo fight, or I'm sorry, I don't even know if it's Tokyo, but
China
City Battle. That was really nice.
Yeah. Yeah, man, 100% agree. The fights in between Kong and Godzilla was everything I ever dreamed about in my head. It was great, fantastic. So, and it is one of those movies where like don't think about it too hard about certain parts. Just have fun with it because this knows how to have fun, and it was fun throughout the whole movie.
And the center of the Earth stuff was unexpected, but it was also really cool. I was just like, this is awesome. Like, I wanted to spend more time in here.
Yeah. Fantastic. Very good pick.
Yep.
Frank, what do you got for us at number 6?
Number 6, The Tomorrow War. Came out of nowhere. I had no idea it was even coming out. I was going to skip it as well. I was kind of pratted out and stuff like that. But it ended up being like Live, Die, Repeat light for me.
Okay.
I love Live, Die, Repeat. That's another one of those ones that like I'll just randomly put it on because I love it.
Yeah.
So it gave me that itch, the same kind of itch, even though it is a little different. But the monster designs were out of this world to me. Usually, man, monsters are just lame, or you don't see them, or they're shadows, or they just have spikes, and that they call it a day.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. So I thought they did a really good job. The story ended up meaning a little more than I thought it would. I thought it was going to be complete throwaway, but it was not bad. So I'm going to throw this one up there. It's been a while since I watched it, so maybe this is a little too high, but that's okay.
No, that's fair.
That's still
fair.
As long as you had fun,
Yeah.
That's all that matters. So my number 6. This is one of the movies that kind of messed up my entire list. I didn't expect it to like as much as I did. Belfast. Great little movie, man. It's about this young Irish kid living in Belfast, northern Belfast, during the 1960s, where there were a lot of issues in Ireland at that time. A lot, so much that like people start to like flee Ireland in droves. I kind of compare it to Jojo Rabbit in the sense that, in the sense that we get to see this historical event through the eyes of a kid and the way that he kind of sees it, and like he doesn't quite understand what's going on, and the only way they can explain is through his eyes and talking to his grandfather and talking to his friends, and the way he kind of reacts to certain things. And this movie is funny when he's trying to be funny. It's just like I laughed out loud sometimes. I'm like, damn, this is really good, and it's shot in black and white, and it gives it that little extra feel to it. It feels nostalgic, but also feels like you're watching someone's home movie almost. The director has kind of a mixed bag, but he is very highly acclaimed, and he's also an actor as well. Like again, I'm god off with names, but I don't know how you guys feel, but he directed the first Thor movie. He directed Murder on the Orient Express, and he's done a bunch of other movies. And this movie just it was heartwarming. It had its moments. The ending is great. If you are a fan of the song "Everlasting Love," they use it really great in this movie. Where like as soon as I watched it, I bumped it in my car, and it's a fantastic song.
Huh.
And it's great, man. Yeah, like it's great. Like it just one of those like. And because like it's one of these movies that has been have been like winning awards. Like I think it won best film at TIFF this year, and like it's being hailed as like, oh, it has a chance to win the Oscar for best film. And I'm like, all right, let me see. I'm like, you know what? It's in the running. It's a really good movie, and it's pretty short for this type of movie. It's like an hour and 38 minutes, hour and 35 minutes.
Yeah, I was expecting a long one.
Yeah. And yeah, I felt kind of like I did with JoJo, where JoJo was a lot more comical. This was a little more grounded, but it was still funny and well paced and great story behind it. And then the backdrop of that is a great story of the husband and wife who are, one wants to stay, one wants to go, and kind of how that dynamic works. The only reason why it's not as high on my list is because because like this I just saw it like in the fourth quarter here. It was like a couple days left before we did the show, and I'm like, if I put it too high, maybe it'll be less lower. But I'm gonna put it right there, about midpoint, because I think it's gonna age very well for me. So
Yeah.
that's my number 6.
I enjoyed it as well. I saw that this morning, actually, or around. Or, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But yeah, I enjoyed it as well. It was very easy to watch. Like you said, it's only about an hour and a half long. That's interesting that you said it felt like you're watching someone's home video. That's a good description for it. Because it's this war between Protestants and Catholics,
Mm.
and it's you're putting these child eyes in very chaotic history, and it kind of grounds you a little bit, and you feel for this poor kid, like, man, this guy's just trying to find some love in the second grade or whatever grade he's in,
Yeah.
and all this shit is going on around him, and he has no idea or any way to understand, really. So it's a good it's good it's good goggles to have on when you go through this history ride.
Mhm.
So it was fun. I enjoyed it as well.
Yeah, that's my number 6, Belfast. So we are now in our top half of our list. Do you want to do some honorable mentions now, after, or before we do our number 1? How do you want to handle the
I
honorable
don't know.
mentions?
Don't know, sir. I want to say later, and I want to say now. So I don't know.
How about we do it right before we do our number 1?
Sure.
That's good.
Okay.
I like that.
Sounds good.
So, Gil, why don't you go us and hit us with number 5?
Number 5, I loved this movie. I had high hopes for this movie. I'm a huge fan of the franchise, and I could not wait to see this. This is Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Nice.
Thoroughly enjoyed it. I kind of had an idea that the old timers were going to show up. I had no idea I can't remember if you guys talked about it.
Oh, I didn't talk about it. Don't.
All right, I won't talk about it, but it hits every point of nostalgia.
It's basically No Way Home for Ghostbusters.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was a lot of fun. Good casting. Good way to get a fresh cast into it while staying true to the franchise, while having that scratching that itch of nostalgia that you wanted. It was a lot of fun. I think I watched it twice already, and maybe 3 times, but it was so much fun. I really enjoyed it. It's a great sequel to the 2. I'm not counting the other movie. Nothing against the girls in that movie. But it was just it's not their fault. It's just the writing.
Yeah, it was bad writing.
But this was amazing. Loved the movie.
It was good. I liked it.
Did you watch it, Manny? Did you watch
Nope.
it or okay?
I
then
completely forgot about it. I should have watched it.
And then Frank, you said you saw it, right?
I did, yeah.
Okay.
Really good.
Like, cause I know as a kid you were a huge Ghostbusters fan.
Yeah.
Did this kind of like
pots on my head and run around the house? And I was obsessed. I mean, they told me I used to watch it like 5 times a day when I was like 3 or 4 years old.
Yeah.
I was obsessed.
I don't know where it is, but my mom has a video of you wearing your proton pack and like sitting down watching Ghostbusters.
Nice.
Yep. Oh yeah.
I still remember the first one kind of being a little scary at the beginning.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
And I rewatched it too. I'm like, oh crap, this is kind of like Evil Dead kind of feel to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah. It's that raw grittiness.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Yeah.
The nitty gritty.
There you go, the carpe diem. This was good, man. I think it was better than it had any right to be. And given the delay and then the smearing of the legacy of the last movie, and
yeah, for real,
it had an uphill battle for sure. And I think they did as good as they could. I mean, I did really like it actually. The new kids were less annoying than I thought they would be.
Same.
But I sometimes have a problem with all of them being kids. Like, it's like an 8-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a 12-year-old, and it's like just a little too much sometimes. But it was really good. Can't really fault it. There was a lot of discovery to it. Like, there was so much like wonder behind it, where you're like, well, what happened here, or what does that mean, or like stuff like that. So
yeah,
it was there. There was definitely some bumps in the road towards the end, like around the 3/4 mark.
Mm-hmm.
But the ending and all the other stuff, I think, more than made up for it. So,
nice.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, I agree with what you said about the wonder of it and everything unfolding. It kind of reminded me of a Goonies, the Goonies movie.
Yeah.
And now that you mentioned, like, I wish they would not had all the kids around the same age. That's a good observation. I agree with that as well. Even the post credit scene is or I don't know if it was post credits or it was
mid
after.
Yeah, might have been like mid credit, right?
Yeah, that was a cool touch. I wasn't expecting much out of this. I had high hopes, and I didn't need a lot. I just needed, a safe movie with the original cast, or at least, like the major players of who's left, who's still around, and they delivered very, very well. Loved it.
Very nice. Manny, what's your number 5 for us?
It's a movie that was already talked about. The reason why it's higher on my list because I put a lot of effort into getting it ready, getting ready for the movie, and now granted some of that pressure was on me because I kind of slacked on it. But it's Many Saints of New York.
Okay.
I watched all of Sopranos to start preparing myself for this movie, and Unfortunately, I think I needed that to get more excited for this. But it had everything that was in there for like a true fan of Sopranos. Everything from the twist that you never really thought would affect you like that, but if after watching the show and loving the show so much before, it really does kind of get you in. It wasn't perfect, but it was enough where I was excited to go home and put that movie on after watching Sopranos. So it was a good kind of cherry on top. So that one is my number 5.
Very nice.
Yeah, I remember
was,
how much pressure you were under for that one.
Yeah.
He was just like, man, it's only going to be on HBO for like a week and a half, and
No, it was
Oh
on
my
HBO for a month.
a month.
So
There
like
you go.
I dragged it out more than I should. I forgot why I stopped watching it, and yeah, but it was easy to pick up right after.
I was actually gonna make the same comment too. When I would listen weekly to you guys to the podcast. I was looking forward to like, all right, did Manny finish the series yet? Because this movie is gonna go away.
Yeah.
You better finish that shit soon.
He's on his last week.
And I almost thought, man, maybe I shouldn't finish it and just watch it, and then I can finish it later. I was like, no, you have to finish it.
You did it right. You did it right.
Yeah, I'm glad I did. I'm super glad I did.
And that's
Very
good.
nice.
That's dedication.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that's a lot of stuff to watch. Kudos to you, sir. So let's go ahead and move on to Frank. What's your number 5 for us?
All right, hold on. I'm working on the notes here.
Spaghettios.
So I'm just keeping track of what everybody's saying in case somebody else.
Oh, gotcha. Gotcha.
Godzilla versus Kong.
Nice.
I mean, I was. I'm one of the people who likes the King Kong movie a whole lot.
Yeah.
I really like it. Like, I just
like
think it's so much damn fun. Like, I could just watch it so many times. I don't care.
Yeah.
And this was, to me, a continuation of that, and it kept up with that vibe for me. And then it went unexpected places, like the center of the earth. And I'm definitely a casual. Like, I make it seem like I'm a hardcore Godzilla fan, but I just don't know half of the stuff that these guys know. So when certain things happen, like I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that stupid cover, like back, when I was like looking for movies as a kid, or like I remember this little thing, but I don't know. So some of that gets lost on me, and I think it would have been maybe even higher if I knew all that stuff. But they delivered on the action, they delivered on the visuals. I didn't feel like anything was cheap or cheesy looking. Everything was so good. So I had so much fun with it.
Nice. Yeah, it's a great movie.
I will be talking about that a little bit more extensively later on.
Spoiler. That's good though. Yeah. I mean, I don't know about Gil, but I know Manny and I were huge fans, and Frank is a really big fan. We would
Same
say
here.
you're like crazy nuts for this oversized monster thing.
You mean?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah. Yeah, and I'm such a fucking nerd that I decided to create my own Godzilla story that mixes Gundam Wing, Pacific Rim, and
Damn.
I'm still
Godzilla
waiting for that movie.
into one. So, yeah. Yeah, we absolutely love the giant lizard monster. He is the Lizard King for us. All hail King. So moving on from that, because Gil's gonna talk about that more a little bit later. My number 5 is Encanto. Yeah, man, I love it. I remember seeing the trailer, the very first trailer, and it didn't really show much, and I just forgot about it. And I guess Disney forgot about it too. It was I don't know if it's Pixar or Disney, but they just kind of put it out there. I think it hit theater for like a couple weeks or something, and just left. And then it's on Plus. Enjoy, I guess. And people are starting to like find it now and get into it. But yeah, man, it's fantastic. I love it. This is one of the best looking and one of the best animated movies that I've seen because the
Yeah.
way that the characters flow and the action is so smooth and it feels real. Whereas like sometimes you see movies like anime movies and the characters a little janky or like they kind of have like fast twitch movements. Everything
Yeah.
is fluid in this thing. The music is great. I'm not like the biggest musical nerd, but I do love musicals and I love like a good dance movie, and this kind of blends that into this movie. And the biggest thing for me and like the reason why Coco is such a big movie for me, and I think it was in my top three when it came out. That it deals with the family aspect very well. You may be one of those characters, or you might know someone who is that type of person, in the way that they explain how those expectations weigh on you so much that it
Mhm.
kind of cripples you to a point. And like the importance of family, and sometimes getting a little too twisted, where you allow your past traumas to affect your family's future, and it's that fine line of like trying to teach you from what they learned, but also trying not to ruin you as well. It's done really well. I love family aspect stuff when it's done really well, and this one really hit home. Again, like I don't have kids, I'm not married, but those stories about parents and fathers and family really get to me. I can only imagine when I do have kids, I'm just gonna be bawling like every 2 seconds. So this one really hit home for me. It was great. Loved it so much. It's fantastic.
Nice.
That's my number 5, Encanto. Um, let's go ahead and move on to our number 4. Gil, what you got for us?
Number 4, Fear Street. And again, like I said, when talking about Dune, I counted all these as a whole. I loved the story beginning to end. So I'm gonna cheat a little bit and count part 1, 2, and 3.
Mm.
I wasn't expecting um anything much from this. I
Yeah.
saw R.L. Stein
Yeah.
attached to it. And I
Yeah.
was like, hell yeah, I have to watch it. I didn't read any of the Fear Streets growing up. But this was still something that I loved it from the different sub horror genres and these rides that it takes you on. And I love the story. I love how everything uncovered. Um, you get a different um, filter for each one of these, which I thought was really really cool as well. Yeah, it's I have a very distinct taste in horror. I'm not that big of a horror fan, popular horror fan, but something like this, maybe I'm just more of like maybe I would say like a slasher fan.
Mm.
But this was something really really cool. I love horror movies that have this deep backstory where you have to explain a lot and keep pulling the layers apart, and this did it for me.
Yeah.
So I
That's great.
that's why it's up there on my list for sure.
Unexpected, and yeah, it was great, man. I like
Yeah.
it.
Well, yeah. What I love about those movies, or I guess movie, is that it really does kind of touch on many different genres within horror, all within this one story.
Hmm.
You got the 80s slashers, you got
Possession.
possession, you got like even now like the horror the horror the dark art house movies for like the last film, kind of like A2400 style
Hmm.
of film filmmaking. Like they even managed to like do that very well. Um, and the story is pretty strong throughout. I really didn't hate any of them. I really enjoyed all three of them on their own. Ideally, you want to watch them all together, but you could technically watch them by themselves and still have some kind of the enjoyment out of it.
Oh
Maybe
yeah.
not the third as much, but the first two are definitely really good, even by themselves. So
I couldn't pick one, and it's funny after when you first told me like would you be able to pick out a top 10. I
yeah,
knew Fear Street was going to be on it. I think I
Yeah.
did ask you too, like would it be cheating if I just picked it as a whole, or I think you did tell me like just pick one, and I couldn't pick. I even like tried going online, like what is.
But they're so related, though. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard.
And it's funny because you get. I don't think there's one popular choice. It's
Right.
kind of like split, but evenly on all three parts. There is a lot of people that argue that 3 is the best one of the bunch, and there's a lot of people that argue that 2. There's Team 1 also. Yeah.
To me, the first one definitely the best. The only way I would say it's a little cheating is that they have more time to tell a story than any other movie on your list.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they're so related, and you enjoy them to that degree. I mean, what doesn't really matter that bit,
Yeah.
But yeah, First Street 1, 2, and 3. And again, they're not technically they're not sequels, they're parts.
Yeah.
Just like Dune.
Yeah.
So part 2, part 3. So I'm gonna say Fear Street as a whole.
Good stuff. Yep.
Nice.
Watch anyone. I enjoyed all 3.
Very good. Yeah. They're very fun. Number 4 for you, Manny. What do you got for us today?
Number 4 for me is a movie that I recently saw. It was a movie, the first movie that I took Elena to see in the theaters, and that is Sing 2.
Nice.
Fun movie. Love the songs. Had me engaged. Elena loves these movies. Frank actually owns the first Sing, and we just put that on. And I know Violet and I watched it before, I think in theaters, and we liked it. But I think we both like it that much more now because we have someone to share it with.
Right.
And she actually loves it. So when part 2 came out, or I still remember finding out about part 2, I was like, yes, maybe I could probably take Elena to go see this. And it so happens that we did. But awesome. The last song didn't hit as well as like the first one. But I mean, it's a kids movie too. So
right. Yeah.
it is what it is. But that one's one of my favorites, and all the acting, voice acting, and all that.
Oh man,
top notch. But yeah, great movie. Sing 2.
Nice.
Yeah.
I didn't get to watch that one either. And the first movie, I had to go out of my way to watch it because again, I don't have kids, so I didn't have like a drive to see this movie. It was only because of one specific scene that I saw in the trailer that I thought like just knocked me off my couch laughing. Was I think there's like a scene where someone's doing like twirling around and like hits the hippo, and he or she's like in a like a ballet pose.
Yeah.
And the one of the judges like jumps up like, "Oh my God, are you okay?" And the hippo's like, "I'm fine, thank you. How are you?" Never mind the one that just took a deep fall. I had to watch the movie just for that scene. So I'll definitely watch Sing 2.
I don't know. Is that in Sing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, right. I think it's been a while.
The rehearsal part. Yeah,
it's the rehearsal part. Mm-hmm.
Probably one of the beginning scenes where they're.
Beginning scenes.
I'm gonna. No, I don't think that's in Sing.
Oh,
oh man,
we're about to find out.
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
No, well, hold on. You guys talk. I'm gonna look into that.
Okay, no problem.
Frank.
So yeah, so Frank, what's your number 4?
Sing 2.
Well, son of a bitch.
Nice. I like that movie.
Let's keep the convo going.
The freaking animation to me is it's hard to say it's better than Pixar or Disney, but it's I don't know. To me, there's the details. I don't know. I feel like they're trying harder because they know they have to compete with that, or they have to be known as better than them. So they try just that much, a little bit harder. Mm-hmm. The comedy really got me in this, and overall just had a lot of fun with it. And for, like on an animation level, I still like marvel at it because I'm like, this is insanity. Like, to be able to make these scenes are just way too. I know what it takes, and it's just ridiculous. I can't imagine, how much time they spent.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, just kind of touch on part one because I haven't seen part two yet, but one was a nice little surprise for me. Just kind of, I'm like, oh, I was sitting there one day and I was bored. I'm like, you know what? I'll check this out. It has Matthew McConaughey in it. I'm like, all right, I'll check it out. Why not? All right. And
all right.
And yeah, it was a surprise. Like it had some nice heartwarming moments in there. The music choices were really good. This is a musical jukebox type of movie, which is great. I mean, they picked some really good songs, some good singers, and it was like pretty funny. The big character made me laugh really hard sometimes. And it was just solid. So when I saw they were making two, I'm like, I gotta check it out.
I think I found it. I found it. It was actually pigs, guys. It was pigs.
Oh, pigs.
Oh, it was a
The
okay.
pigs.
Jesus.
Pig.
Get your shit together. Oh. Okay, cool. But we did find it. So Excelsior.
Excelsior.
So now we move from the Sing controversy. I'll go ahead with my number 4. My number 4 is No Way Home. Spider-Man No Way Home.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
At least it's on the list.
At least it's on the list.
It's in the top 5.
There you go.
Wow.
I enjoyed it a lot. It was great.
Did you?
I mean, like again, like I don't want to do spoilers, like, oh, this and this, but it helps to have all the ties of everything that's tied with this movie. But I think when you put all that aside, it's a really good Spider-Man story, and specifically for Tom Holland, that we finally get to see him become that Spider-Man that everyone knows. And because I know Manny and I had a conversation before in the movie theater lobby, kind of like I always said, like I always felt a little disconnected from Tom Holland's Spider-Man. I always felt that he had it very easy, which is weird to say for superhero because they go through a lot of shit. But he had it pretty easy. Everything was kind of given to him. And where he ends up at the end of No Way Home, it was like, okay, you managed to do an origin story without doing the origin story first, and it was really cool and that was really smart. At first I was a little worried because that Marvel humor was starting to creep up a little bit too much in some scenes, like unnecessarily. And you can even see it in the trailer for like well, it's in the trailer, so it's not spoiler. They're making fun of Doc Ock's name, his actual name, and it's not that bad of a fucking name. I don't understand why they're just clowning. They're clowning on him. They're like, Octavius, look at this weirdo. I'm like, stop it. That is just ridiculous. And but once we started getting into it was great. But it why isn't it higher? Honestly, I don't know why. Well, I could probably come up with a list, and I can almost guarantee that someone's gonna call me on number 2 and be like, "Oh my god, dude!"
Oh my god!
But how can you put that? How can you put it higher than No Way Home?
Oh my god!
Is it a J-Lo movie?
It is. No, no, no. But
was there one this year?
No Way Home is really solid piece. Nostalgic in ways, felt, but also parts felt new and kind of fresh, and it's especially if you know about Spider-Man's history, parts felt fresh at the same time and new. Again, I'm trying to avoid as much spoilers because you if you are a big Marvel fan, even Spider-Man fan, you need to watch this, preferably in theaters. But
they probably have. Let's be honest, they probably have.
They probably have, but just in case that one guy who like travels for work and can't go, or like, damn it, please don't spoil it. I'm gonna try to be considerate, but yeah, it's solid. I'll probably watch this multiple times because I've come to find a lot of Marvel movies I don't have a need to ever rewatch often, like with the exception of like Thor, Captain America films.
Yeah.
Shang-Chi. There's not many I go back and watch, but this one I feel like I'm gonna watch a lot more often than just once. So
Yeah, like a quarter of them are a bunch of rewatches, but the rest not as much.
Yeah. So No Way Home for me is number 4, guys. Like I said, he made the list, but I know I was gonna get shit because it wasn't
On the
higher.
list, hey,
But
I got no
it's on the
complaints.
list. So if you want to add me all day. You know where to find me.
You came ready
I
to
almost
fight.
want Sonny just to go through the list now of his.
Yeah, I want to see what beat it.
We won't. We won't. We won't.
Yeah, I almost want him to too.
We'll go around in a circle, wait, have every freaking hair flicked out. So
let's go ahead and move on to number 3 then. Gil, what do you got for us?
Number 3 for me was Judas and the Black Messiah.
Okay.
Man, I didn't watch that movie.
I didn't either.
It's a very deep movie, and
I bet
it's good to watch these movies every now and then. If you, I don't know, I don't want to be preachy, but like it's good to like get some awareness of what has been going on. I think after I saw that Watchmen series, the HBO one, that was amazing. That first scene, I couldn't believe that first scene in that series actually happened, and I had no idea about it. So I thought it was important to me to kind of broaden my mind a little bit and watch this movie. And I actually enjoyed the movie. It wasn't just like this is what happened and learn from it type thing. It was written well, enough to like draw the viewer in, keep you in the entire time, have you see things from multiple lenses, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot, and it's something that I will actually watch again, only to just have a better appreciation for have everything stick for me, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good, and it's definitely my top 3, even if it wasn't something to raise awareness to.
Yeah. No, it's a good pick. Yeah, and this is one of those movies where I wanted to watch it, but then I forgot it was gone after like 30 days, and I'm like, shit. Well, shit, I don't know how long it's gonna be back. I think it's on HBO now. I think it's back again, but don't quote me on that.
Yeah, I think so. And that actor too. I'm looking up his name right now. I love him and everything that he's in. He was also in my next movie too, but his name is Lakeith Stanfield.
Yeah, that guy's good.
Okay, yeah.
Love him and everything that he's been so far. He's starting to climb up there as someone that like a type of actor where, all right, I got to see what
he's the one. He's the one from Atlanta, right?
Yeah.
He's awesome.
He's great. I like that guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Very cool look to him too.
Very good pick.
Thank you.
So Manny, what is your number 3 for us?
Number 3 is a movie that when I first watched it this year, which is also another recent movie, I didn't like it, and I still watched it all because of the actor again and the actors basically. But it just didn't hit right the first time, and then I heard more news about it. I talked a little bit more about it, and then I was like, you know what? Let me watch it again. And the movie is Don't Look Up.
Okay.
I appreciated it a lot more the second time, and the conversation and all that. And I almost had, I didn't almost. I did have more fun watching it the second time, where I would laugh out loud, enjoy the acting a lot more. I'm a big Leonardo DiCaprio fan. Huge. Anything he's in, I'm going to watch. So when this movie was first announced, granted, I thought it was a completely different movie than what released. I thought it was going to be a little more serious, or I guess I should say, I was hoping it was going to be a little more serious. I really had no idea that it was a comedy and it was a comedy. So that's what threw me off. But then I was okay with it.
Nice.
And again, not to get too preachy, but unfortunately, I mean, that is what probably will happen with the United States and the world and all that.
I
And
believe it.
yeah, and it's super, super sad. And I don't want to get too preachy on that, but I mean,
Yeah.
it probably is and will happen.
That's why I didn't watch some of these movies, like
Yeah.
Judas and this one. It's just I don't want to do that when I'm trying to watch a movie to have fun.
But
Yeah.
I will say that the end of this movie is so refreshing, where Violet and I always have fun when these movies end how they shouldn't end, how you think they should end,
Yeah.
but they end a completely different way. We have fun at those all the time, and this was one of the movies that ended a different way than what you probably anticipated. So yeah, that Don't Look Up, number 3, and I can't believe that's number 3.
Nice. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. That I saw the first trailer, and I had no idea what that was, and then now I'm hearing about it. I'm like, might be worth checking out because it sounds like it is a hell of a trip. So
It is.
nice. Frank, what is your number 3 for us?
Okie dokie. Number 3, The Suicide Squad.
Okay.
Ooh.
Okay. Solid
Really
pick.
enjoyed
Solid
it, man. What's his name knows how to make a really fun movie.
James Gunn.
The weasel scenes, bitches. I thought it was so funny, like the way they were trying to figure out
Yeah.
what he is. And then, I just love Weasel, and I can't believe he made Starro work, especially as a big walking kaiju. Like, and then the creepy aspect that they latch on your face and everything. Just a really underutilized, unexpected thing. And then that initial scene where it kind of flipped the script on you, where you're like, what, like this chaos is crazy, like who's actually in this movie, like, all that kind of thing. Comedy was great. I mean, I freaking love that movie. It was so much fun, completely unexpected. I didn't doubt James Gunn, but at the same time I was like, I don't know,
It's
man,
DC.
it's gonna work.
It's DC, yeah, exactly.
That's another thing. There's baggage with that, so. But it's pretty high up. I really enjoyed it. Got to rewatch that one.
Nice.
It's been a while. I don't think I saw it since it came out.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Uh-oh. There you go.
We got you. We got you.
Okay.
AT&T
Okay.
pulled
Cool.
We were afraid we weren't
Sweet.
going to hear what beat Spider-Man.
Oh, you'll find out one way.
Oh no, he's gone.
One way or another, you will find out.
Oh my god. I'm not ready for this.
That's tell you people. So my number 3 is The Night House. Starring Rebecca Hall. I went into this movie thinking it was going to be like a generic horror film, and so I guess in some ways you could, depending on how you look at it, maybe. But first off, the biggest thing about the movie is Rebecca Hall really carries this movie really well. The general concept of the story is that she is a widower. Her husband just killed himself, and it was like, and we kind of pick up the story with her the day after they bury him, and kind of goes from there. It's one of those movies that made me I'm still thinking about it now, just how they handle it and the way that they go about it. Because horror is a really good tool to like talk about real life stuff. The Babadook is about grief and is done fantastically well in the movie, and the way that they deal with grief and the way they explain it, and the way that they kind of visualize it in the story, it's done really well here. Just from the use of the music as well, and the cinematography, and some of the more trippy scenes in the movie, and like especially towards the end where it gets really trippy. And on top of that, there's a mystery that's unfolding of like maybe he wasn't who he said he was, or there was some more to it than just what he was letting on. And you can actually look at this two ways. You can look at it as a straight up paranormal story that is laid out very well and is like, okay, it all makes sense, and the way that the story plays out is very solid and with a cool twist. And the ending, again, there's a note that she gets from her husband before he kills himself, and when you learn what that actually means, it's like, oh shit, okay. um it hits home a little bit more. Or on the flip side, if you want to use this as a character study piece of just, again, like grief and trying and holding on to the past and trying to move on when it's hard to, you're so attached to something that you're willing to chase something even if it's bad, that you are willing to kind of ex- taint the memories of the past just because it's unresolved issues, and trying to deal with all that. um I, again, this comes out of nowhere for me. I saw the trailer and it just kind of came and went, and I really love
Yeah.
these type of films. As much as I praise and love genre films and like action films and like horror stuff like that, this, I won't say it's like a deep thinker in a sense of like like having a existential crisis trying to figure it out, but the fact that it deals with grief, and everyone deals with grief some point in their life. I know I have a number of times, and I think we all have in some way, shape, or form. And the way that you handle it is different, but the same, because at the end of the day, it's just something you have to learn to deal with. And the Night House, to me, I thought it encapsulated all that very well. So that's my number 3.
Check that out.
It's a good one. Definitely worth watching.
Yeah, so that's my number 3. Manny, we'll go ahead and move on to number 2. We'll go ahead.
I'll give it to you.
Gil. Okay.
Wait, what?
We're gonna move on to our number 2 spot with Gil.
All right. Number 2 is Harder They Fall. I was actually looking forward to the release of Power of the Dog. I'm a huge Western fan,
Hmm.
and I was really looking forward to Power of the Dog with Benedict.
Oh yeah,
Cumbersnatch.
it was a little
Yeah,
boring.
yeah,
Grind.
yeah. The ending, it has like a really cool. I don't know if it's a twist, but it kind of swerves you a bit, where you think there one character is one way, but it kind of swerves you a bit. But with Harder They Fall, that ended up being a more Western style that I really enjoy, and I had a lot of fun with it. I didn't even know about it until I heard the podcast. Sonny recommended it.
Yeah.
He talked highly of it,
Still need to
and
watch this.
I loved it. From beginning to end, it has like Tarantino style to it, especially in the very beginning. Um, the characters in it, all of them, top to bottom, is really good. A buddy of mine that he does visual effects now, and he had like a hand in it. He works for a company that
Nice.
did a specific scene, so he
Nice.
recommended it to me also. So he hyped it up as well. So I knew I had to watch, and I knew it was going to be up there for top 3 for me. I loved it. Loved the movie. If you haven't seen it yet and you are a Western fan, definitely get on it.
Okay. Damn.
It was
I really
amazing.
love westerns. I didn't watch it.
Yeah.
I suck.
Love the twist in that movie as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
Again,
now I really
very
have to-
Tarantino like.
Idris Elba, right?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
hmm
All right, man. This is gonna be one of my things I really need to watch.
I think you should. It's good.
hmm
I think you'll like it because I know, Frank, you're really into westerns too. Um, Manny, how do you feel about the old gunslingers?
Oh, I like them.
Okay.
I don't know why I haven't seen this one.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, check it out too. It's good.
So much.
Yeah, it's really good.
Every day, it's like they're trying to get you to watch 20 different movies a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Right. It's a lot.
Yeah.
So let's move on to number 2 for Manny.
So I switched it.
Okay.
So this one I think was originally going to be my number 1, but you guys keep ranking them on how much you enjoyed it. So I'm going to switch it around. And you'll see why. But this is arguably one of the best movies of the year, and it caught me by surprise. I laughed, I cried. The deep meaning in this movie is what really brought me to it. And I'm glad that I could share it with my family, but it's Encanto. So I think this is the best movie of the year. This is going to win the Oscar of Best Animated. And I, to be honest, I had high hopes for Sing 2 because Frank liked Sing 2 more than Encanto. And I'm like, oh, man, okay, this gets me even more excited for Sing 2. But after watching Encanto, like literally 100 times because of Elena, and actually sitting there and listening to all the songs and seeing all the details and everything, and Sonny's 100% right. This one is one of the most beautiful animated movies I've ever seen. And really, I think the reason for that is because the little facial expressions that do happen with each character that you really don't see in any other animated movie. I think you saw that with The Robinsons, which is also a great movie. I think it's the Netflix one. It's Frank, you've seen it. Which one is that one? The Robinson one?
That's the Mitchells or
Mitchell.
Yeah.
Mitchell versus the Robots or something like
Yeah.
that.
The Machines.
The Machines. And that's an awesome movie, man. That should actually be on my list because I believe that came out in 2021.
It did.
So Encanto, like the meanings of the songs, especially all the characters. Luisa, her song for whatever reason really hit me hard because I just felt bad for someone who was trying so hard to please the family, but yet she's not really truly happy because she feels lost. Like the songs were so deep, and I loved every single song. I can't get tired of it. I really can't. So that's why that one's number 2 for me.
Nice. That's a great pick for 2. 100%.
Heck yeah.
Frank, why don't you hit us with your best shot with number 2?
It doesn't have as much meaning, but I enjoyed the hell out of it. Shang-Chi.
Nice.
I'm a huge martial art fan, so to have this now in Marvel, and for me to kind of be introduced to a new character because I don't know anything about Shang-Chi, just how he looks, basically.
Yeah.
So all of that wrapped together, plus the humor, plus I was not expecting that dragon battle. So to me, I mean, I was like, my mind was kind of going nuts because I'm like, if they can do that, then they can do, Dragon Ball or something crazy, in live action and stuff like that. So super rewatchable. I love all the Asian actors that I've seen throughout the years of watching martial art movies. So Tony from Hard Boiled and Michelle Yeoh and everybody else. Choreography and I just had a lot of fun. Wasn't expecting it at all. And I think it was the first post-COVID movie I saw in theaters with you guys.
Yeah, I think so.
Added to it a lot. So
yeah, that was a good time.
And like Sonny was saying, this is like one of those rewatchable ones of the MCU that I'm going to keep watching.
Yeah, 100%. Could not agree more. It is one of the best ones to watch, and then you can just pop it on anytime, and middle movie, beginning of the movie, and it's just great.
Yeah.
So, so my number 2 is Malignant.
Wow.
This movie, man, I fucking love. I adore this movie with all my heart.
He cherishes uniqueness.
You do not deserve the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, the Amazing Spider-Man. You don't deserve none of those Spider-Man.
At least it's on the list.
Hey, you got
Like-
it on the list. I don't know what you're talking about.
Just
So
like
you,
Frank said, at least it's on the list.
Yeah.
and just thinking about it more, this movie, I like I said, I fucking love this so much.
Oh my god!
I love that James Wong took the John Carpenter approach with this movie. Was like, I don't give a fuck what anyone thinks. I'm gonna make this movie because I want to make it. And the only person that he like praises for loving the movie is Stephen King, who was like, I love this movie, man, good job. And he's like, coming from you, that's all I ever needed. This was something he just wanted to make. And I love seeing, and because you can see it throughout his work, because like I followed James Wong since
Yeah.
the very first movie, like Saw, Dead Silence, Death Sentence, Conjuring, and all that. I've seen everything he's made. One of my favorite directors. And the fact that this is just so balls to the wall nuts that watching the trailers doesn't do it justice. None of it does, because you just have to
Mhm.
experience and watch it to just get the full effect of it. And then watch it a second time, and you appreciate even more, because now you know what's happening. And like thing like Frank said, you can appreciate those moments more now, because it's okay to laugh at that scene, or oh, I
Mhm.
know that's coming and it's even better.
Yep.
This this like watching stuff like this keeps me, again, it's hard to get us together to like make a short film or something, and I still want to do that, but that sometimes that engine kind of gets a little low. But watching something like this just reignites that fire in my chest of like,
Yeah.
I wanted to do this,
It can be
and
done.
whatever the fuck I have to do it, I'm going to do it. And I'm not a writer. I wish I was. I'm more of a director. But I like, after watching this, I sat down and like, I got this kind of story idea. I got this story idea. I got this
Yeah.
story idea, and it's all written down in my notebook. And this one just fuels that fire of like, I want to make
Yeah.
movies like this. Maybe I won't be successful, but it is like just so much fun. And to have that ability to do whatever you want in a movie and be proud of it, I love
Yeah.
it for that reason.
Well, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, sir.
Yeah.
You go ahead and take a shot.
Yeah, so it just like every now and then when this type of movie comes out, it just fuels me to keep going and be like, don't give up. It sucks. It like, for a movie to be made is a miracle, and
Yeah.
that's like on a studio end that has millions of dollars. I got a budget of zero, probably negative $10, but it'd be a miracle to make anything. But it like, seeing stuff like this, just like, nope, I have to try. If I fail, fuck it, but I have to try at least once. So
Yeah.
that's why
Well, I think
this
a lot of
is
it
on
is
the
planning phase. Like, if your planning is rock solid, you know exactly what you need and how much money it would cost.
Mhm.
That's like half the battle, man.
Yeah, 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 and that battle's a uphill battle with
Oh yeah, but
weights
still,
on your shoes. But no,
you
yeah,
know, like
it's just
for
something I
this
keep
scene,
going.
it would cost me like $100. For this
Yeah.
scene, it's gonna cost me $200. The
Right.
whole movie, 5,000 or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. So yeah, but yeah. So not only did I enjoy the movie, but more why it's here is because of what it did for me, and that's why it's on my uh two on my
That's
entire
what my
list.
whole list is about, man. What it did for me, like the movies that you guys mention when you mention them, like they make sense, and I kind of regret not putting them on the list. But the purpose of my list was to have fun and rewatch movies,
Yeah.
and
Right.
so even though it's a superior or maybe more important film or something like that, or it's hard to say that because it's all subjective, but
Right.
I still feel some of these movies that should have made it. But for me, no, just that's not where I'm at, I guess.
Oh yeah, and that's
Personal level.
completely fair, and that's why I always preface that these are our favorite films, not necessarily the best, because again, best,
Mhm.
just like everything else, is subjective. But like, these are just the ones that we either enjoyed the most, liked the most, for whatever reason. It's on there, and that's why every year I will fight for every movie that's on my list, because it did something for me, and
Yeah.
those are fighting words. So I'm good, but
No, I get you.
yeah,
It makes sense, man. I mean, when
yeah.
you explain it like that, I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah, that's my number two, though. Malignant from James Wan. I believe it's on HBO now again. So if you want to watch it, if you haven't watched it, check it out.
Damn, I just paid for that movie not too long ago too.
Oh, did you? Yeah. Again, don't quote me 100%.
Ask
I think it's
us.
back, but
Ask
yeah.
us.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah. Yes, ask us. We will help you. We will guide you. We will guide you
Yeah.
on Padawan. Um, So before we get into our number one picks of the year, even though I kind of figure what I think Manny's is, let's go ahead and pick some of our honorable mentions. If you want to rattle them off, or if you have a certain set of ones you want, just go ahead and just do what you do, guys. So, Gil, what are some of your honorable mentions that didn't quite make the list for some reason or another?
Well, when you were talking about, I think it was Encanto, you mentioned like you not being so much into musicals. I'm a huge musical fan. I grew up, well, I didn't grow up a theater kid, but I was a theater kid late in high school, and I completely forgot that I had
Oh,
Tick
yep,
Tick Boom on my list.
yep.
I legit had Tick Tick Boom on my list on my phone. I didn't transfer it over, and I was like, "What the hell? Which one am I missing?" So I saw like a little like cardboard piece of paper, and I was like, "Oh, maybe it was Free Guy." I think it was Free Guy because I did love that movie a lot. It was not Free Guy. It was Tick Tick Boom. I loved that movie. Rent in around that time, the movie had just come out, and it was just this resurgence of this musical. If you were a theater kid in high school around that time, Rent was a big deal, and the movie Tick Tick Boom is about the guy who wrote it, created it, and it was a big emotional ride because me personally, I had this attachment to it already. As soon as I didn't even know it was about John Larson. As soon as I found out, as soon as I turned on the movie, I was like, no freaking way, it's about John
Yeah.
Larson. You can see, and it's about his life. I don't want to go too deep into it because I know we have to like keep going, but it you see all these little seeds in his life that he put in the movie Rent. Like he calls one of he calls his roommate Pookie. That's a big deal, or it's a little Easter egg in Rent as well. That's just to give an example, but that should have made my list. I really enjoyed that movie. Or should I just go with the other two, or are
Yeah,
we
go ahead.
picking?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, just throw them all out.
Another honorable mention. I promised I'd talk about it later. Was Godzilla versus Kong. This was hard to not have on my list. When I saw the movie, I loved the movie, loved everything about it. The fight scenes, uh, a lot of the focus on the monsters as well. Um, the color, like we talked about. I think I still hold Godzilla King of Monsters above
Mhm.
this movie. I think that movie King of Monsters just had a little bit more depth to it, and I think that's for me. This is what was lacking for Godzilla versus Kong.
Mhm.
I think I just wanted a little bit more depth, a little bit more storyline. I didn't necessarily need more human interaction or anything. I just wish I had a little bit more.
Right.
That's the only reason why it didn't make my list. But I did love the movie a lot. Uh, and the other honorable mention was 8-Bit Christmas. I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. It became instantly one of my favorite Christmas movies ever. Um, it reminded me a lot of A Christmas Story, but just in a set in a different time. Something that I was eager to show my niece, eager to watch it again. I'll always watch it around Christmas time. Really enjoyed it.
Nice. Solid three, man. Yeah, those are really good picks there too.
Thank you.
Manny, do you have any honorable mentions?
You guys said a lot of them, but one that no one's mentioned is the movie Old,
Okay.
M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Nice.
I really had fun with this movie. It was enough where it had me intrigued and kept me asking what if and um, what's going on. So, and at the ending, I could deal with the ending. So, and with M. Night Shyamalan movies, those are the biggest things. Like, how is the ending? How did he
Right.
stick it? Because most of the time he doesn't stick it.
Yeah.
For me, this time he kind of stuck it. And I like this appreciation of where the ending kind of went to. So, yeah,
Nice.
I would say
That's a good one. Yeah. I've yet to seen that one, but his kind of his last works, even though like Glass is a little iffy here and there. The Visit is really good, so I kind of have some high hopes for Old, and Shamalama Ding Dong. So hopefully it works out. Hey Frank, you still there?
I'm here.
There you are. What's up, buddy? Do you have any honorable mentions for us?
Yeah, I got some. Let me take a quick look.
Sure.
Black Widow came out this year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah,
Just
right.
did.
It's just so weird. Man. I don't know. Time is weird. But I did like it quite a bit. I felt like the end kind of kept it from some of the greatness for me. Dune, Ghostbusters, Fear Street.
Nice.
Those were fun.
Very
They
good.
didn't quite make it, but they were
Yeah.
pretty good though. Definitely all worth watching.
For sure.
Yeah, for sure. So for my honorable mentions, I'm going to name a couple because we've already talked about them. Godzilla vs Kong, The Forever Purge. What else did we talk about? Dune. But I did want to touch on two that no one brought up. First one is Cop Shop. That's a really good throwback to like '90s action films. It's a really small film, but it's good. There's one character you might think will be annoying or that over the top badass character, but she ends up being really cool actually. A well done character. Frank Grillo I think is great in it. Gerard Butler is in it, not that much. So if you're expecting him to be in it, he's not in it that much, unfortunately. But for what he does, he's good. I forget the actor's name, but he was the dad in Michael Myers, the 2019 movie, 2018 film. I think, and he was also in Pete and Pete, if you guys remember that show. Yeah.
That's
He,
awesome.
yeah, he kind of steals the show. He's this psychotic killer who's really good at being weird, but also kind of threatening just because he seems very unstable. And he was really good in it. Solid little action movie. And then I want to talk about Nightmare Alley as well. Think I mentioned it on the podcast a couple episodes ago, but I think Manny and Frank weren't on that one. Um, Nightmare Alley. The story is pretty straightforward. It's a rise and fall story, but instead of in the background of like a gangster film or Wall Street or something like that, it's set in the world of carnies and kind of like the I forgot what they use, like the mentalists or like the ones that are like, oh, I see you have something in your pocket. Does it mean this, this, and that? You know, like that kind of tomfoolery, those frauds. And if it wasn't for the director, which is Guillermo, which is my favorite director of all time, the movie would have just been average standard. But he brings his Guillermoisms to it, and you can definitely see it in the set design. And I love that when they leave the carnival scene, that when they get to the city, it's the architecture for the buildings there is Art Deco, which gives it more of that like creepy futuristic nostalgia feel to it, and it feels like a modern gothic castle almost, even though it's like in like the 60s 50s. It's really strong. William Defoe's in it for a little bit. He's a legend at this point. The guy is fucking great. Bradley Cooper, which I wasn't the biggest fan of him. I like him in certain things, but I think he does a really good job in this. Solid little movie. It was gonna be my 10, but then when other movies started to come into play, it kept getting pushed to like I don't know, to honorable mention. So those are my honorable mentions for this year.
Sweet.
So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's get to our number one favorite movie of 2021. Gil, please take us home.
If we have the same movie,
Should
say
we do it collectively?
say it, and then pass it on. And if it's the same movie, then we stop right. Or I'm sorry, if it's the same movie, then we ask Frank, and then we all know that Sonny probably doesn't have the same movie. And then so as soon as you get a no, you stop talking, and you just go. So what's your favorite movie of the year?
No Way Home.
Yep. Mine's No Way Home. Frank, what's yours?
We
Frank?
lost.
Mine is No Way Home.
All right. So
You can just stop
since
there.
all of us is
Yeah.
all the same movie. What's yours,
Just dive
Sonny?
in.
My number one is The Harder They Fall.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll let you guys
Thank
talk
God none of these fucking movies are a ripoff of another fucking movie that came out. Like, book fucking smart.
I stand by a movie.
A little bit of
so
improvement.
before I talk about why I like Harder They Fall, I'll let you guys why you guys love No Way Home as your favorite movie.
No, because you'll talk about it too. So go.
I already did though.
You should probably. Did you?
Yeah, number 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was number 4.
Oh, so you already went into it?
A little bit, yeah.
You should have saved the good stuff for later.
He left the floor for us.
Yeah, I
He
said
knew.
it's good. I didn't want spoilers, but if you guys want, so this is your guys' time. You guys, this is your number one. Go ahead and take it away.
You know it's your number one too.
No.
All right, Gil. Where you
I
want to
loved
start?
it. I it's hard to start anywhere with why I love this movie so much. The hype was really, really high, and it exceeded it. It exceeded it so much. I couldn't wait to see it again. It's up there as one of my favorite Marvel movies. Yeah, I can't say good enough things about it. It's amazing. It's spectacular.
Oh, Frank, how about you?
I'll just say no other movie made me feel this way. I was really happy. Couldn't believe that it actually exceeded everything I wanted by like a large degree. And yeah, that's it, man. What can I say? It just lived up to everything and beyond.
So for me, going into this movie, I, as everyone, already kind of had an idea of what we were kind of in for, like the cameos and all that. Yeah. And I, as much as I try to hide from them, I mean, since they kept coming up, I mean, I had a feeling they were going to be right. So I was looking at other aspects of the story. Is this my Spider-Man, the Spider-Man that I know and love? Is there a glimmer of him? Because the MCU Spider-Man, as Sonny as I have spoken, it's not the same Spider-Man that we grew up with. But is there a glimmer in there? And I saw a glimmer. And then it brought me back to other memories I had of Spider-Man, and I was like, holy crap, this is going everywhere for me.
Yep.
And then there's moments where I didn't know that I needed, you know. So it had a little bit of everything for me, and then the ending. If the ending probably wasn't in that movie, it probably still would have been high, but it would have been anywhere it is now for me. And that ending shot is phenomenal.
I agree.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see it again in theaters. I did buy it as soon as I got home.
Yeah.
I turned on Apple TV and
Sent us a
I was like,
and we're like, yeah.
Yeah. And everyone was like confused, like, oh, you could see it already? I just paid for it. And I'm like, no, I bought it already so I can watch it when it first comes
I
out.
wasn't confused. I know you.
Yeah.
You bought it already. Holy shit.
Yeah, I no waiting whatsoever. It's a special movie.
That is so great.
Oh, definitely. I think what stuck it for me was kind of like you said. I agree with both you. It wasn't the same Spider-Man, this Tom Holland story. It was interesting how they told an origin story backwards.
Yeah,
which I thought was very, very cool.
But
and
but you don't even know that's happening.
Yeah, you no idea.
Nope.
You had no idea that was happening.
And then when everything sets into place after those famous words, and you see him in an apartment, no money, doesn't have his Iron Man money anymore. So it was cool to see that, and it finally resonated where I could connect to this character now, as a Spider-Man that we grew up watching. So I loved it. I think that's what did it for me. I was very I went in trying to see what I can pick apart, if if I'm gonna love the movie because of the nostalgia, or
Yeah.
if I'm gonna love the movie regardless of the nostalgia. And it definitely
Like the
was a
perfect
winner.
marriage of both. Yeah,
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah. I
fantastic.
loved it.
I love how they were able to keep so much from us.
Yeah, I
Like
couldn't believe it.
nobody could figure out if is this gonna happen or is it not. I mean, what is happening here? Nobody knew. And it's just that alone is an applause for me.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
I did read some spoilers, so like I read that Green Goblin's going to be the main villain, and I didn't try to think about it, but then I thought about it. I'm like, yeah, that's probably right, but I never thought it would be like this great. Like never in a million years would I think that um, William Dafoe would be able to pull it off once again.
Man.
So yeah, it gave us a lot. And John Watt, man, I looked at his list of movies that he's made. He hasn't made too many. And the other movies, I mean, they're like nothing. I think they're probably like B movies.
Yep.
So it's kind of nuts that this is coming from him, and I mean,
Mhm.
this is the Spider-Man that we know and love. Hopefully, he's filming the other one because he's been hitting it out of the park. But he is filming Fantastic Four, so at least we got that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's surprising.
Yeah.
Sonny, explain yourself.
So, The Harder They Fall, like I said, is my number one movie. Um, it it just, man, from the get go, it had me. I love the fact that everyone in this movie, I mean, everybody was on their A game, from the director to the composer to the cast and crew. Everyone put their heart and soul into this thing. No one half-assed it. You know, there's usually like in movies, there's like that one actor or someone that's like, I'm here for a paycheck, or they were miscasting it because they're trying to play a tough guy when they're clearly not, or something like that. This one, everyone was on point, man. I mean, like this really is an all-star cast. Um, Idris Elba, he doesn't have that much screen time, but when he does, he is
Commanding.
forefront. He is very commanding, and I love his little speeches. I love, again, like just him as a person. He's very intimidating. He has that look of like, I'm gonna whoop your ass in a second if you keep talking. Like him and like Tom Hardy have that look where like they just look like they mean business. And um everyone, and like I said, everyone is great. The music is fantastic. I'll play
Yeah.
the soundtrack. I play the soundtrack a number of times in my car now, and I'm just like, yeah, I just want to go shoot some guns now. So I want to go pip out. Just get my blam blam on real quick. But and the story is great. It takes a little bit to get like the opening grabs you, and there's like an action scene in a valley, but then after that, it takes a little bit of time to just set up the world and the people. But even that stuff is still good. I didn't have any downtime with it. I didn't feel like it dragged at any time. The action is there. If you want something like the Magnificent Seven style, it's like bam 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 stuff going off. You got that.
Oh yeah.
You want like an old school Western story, you got that too with the main character. You want the Tarantino
Revenge.
feel, you got that shit in there too. You got everything that you would want. I know some people when it comes to what I don't know some people when it comes to the westerns, they like it more serious, like Unforgiven and Tombstone, which great films, absolutely fantastic. Tombstone is like my favorite film of all time, but this blends that like Tarantino-esque. Let's have some fun. Let's be a little more out there with it, and with that serious Western tone feel to it. And I think I brought it up on the podcast with you with Manny and Frank, that to me this is what Django should have been.
Yeah.
And I always, and I remember when we talked about this movie, because I think this was series 1 or series 2 of the podcast, where Tarantino said, "Yeah, I'm making a new movie, guys. It's gonna be a western." Yeah, yeah. And I remember from day one, I was like, Idris Elba should be your main lead, 100%. And I'm not a big Jamie Foxx guy. I haven't been. I liked him in the Jamie Foxx show. I like his song "Blame It." Maybe a couple other things, but overall, I'm not a big fan of him. I think that having Idris in Django would have made that movie totally different, in 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 the right ways. So to see him in this movie, kind of be like a villain that could easily fit in Tarantino's world, is great. And think like Gil said, the twist at the end, which like it's set up in the beginning, and you think, oh, it's this, but they turn it on its head. It's like, damn, that's really good. That's really good. You guys got me on that. And again, like from the set design, everything, it's colorful, it's bright, it looks fucking clean. Everything about it is just spot on for me. It just hit on all cylinders. And again, and the fact that it's like an original property, that they came up with the story, that every character is based off kind of off of an actual black cowboy in history, is really cool too, and to kind of like see that kind of work together.
Seems pretty rare.
Yeah, and I was like, damn, you got me. I've watched it like 4 times already. I've listened to the album in its entirety at least 10 times. It's just one of those films that's gonna stick with me forever and ever, and I loved it. So
This is the next
There's a
movie
lot-
I'm watching. Let me tell you.
Yeah, please. There's a lot to pay attention to, subplot wise.
Yeah.
Especially, I think they handled raising, the standards of a female character, and you have
Yes.
these two badasses in this movie. Regina King is in it. I love her.
Yeah.
And she does a really good job of holding her own. I think there's like a moment where she's on the side of Idris Elba, and someone made a comment like, "Hey, tell your boss, blah blah blah," and she, my boss. Realistically, Idris is the top dog, but God forbid someone ever tells her that. She holds her own.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a nice touch, and I'm glad that the two females in this movie had their moment as well, and at the end as well.
Yes.
Which was very, very cool. And kudos to the director. There's a very specific scene during a heist, and I thought it was shot beautifully. And I immediately looked up what else he's done, and I couldn't find anything. This was his very first movie. I couldn't find anything other than the fact that he is Seal's brother.
Okay, that's that's your
I
big
don't know
credit.
if you knew that.
No, I didn't know that.
I
That's
thought it was hilarious.
It's probably like the last thing you're expecting to find.
he's the one that wrote "Kiss from a Rose." Oh,
In case you kids out there don't know.
yeah, that's awesome. I don't know why. That's just awesome.
Mhm.
But yeah, man, I can't speak highly enough of that movie. I might be overselling it for some people out there, but it's just from someone who really appreciates like cinematography and camera work, and you can kind of, again, you can see when someone's giving it their all in a role, and the fact that everyone is in this movie just knocking it out of the park. It's just like, to me, it feels special. So
Yeah.
the
Now I gotta
harder
watch
that
it, man.
the harder they fall number one.
Westerns just they're so few and far between as it is, and then to find a gem.
Yeah.
That's another thing.
Yeah, like I said, I saw Power of the Dog before I saw this, and I had high hopes for that, and that was pretty hard to get through. This movie, I was hooked from the very beginning. Like it was number 2 on my list, so I hold it just as high as Sunny. It's definitely a must watch if you're a Western fan. You will not regret it.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's our top 10 favorite movies of 2021. Solid list from everybody. couple of stuff that I still have to check out. So it was good that you guys watched them and kind of like I said, yeah, watch it. So I'm like, cool.
Mm-hmm.
So now I feel more at ease to be like, you know what, I can sit down and watch it now.
Definitely.
So before we sign off here, let just real quick fire stuff. We don't have to spend too much time on them, but would you guys have a top 3 or 4 most disappointing films of this year?
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot.
Definitely.
Venom 2.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
If this was a worst list, Venom would be right up there. But I had no expectation for it, so it was what it was for me.
For me, it was The Little Things. It was the first
Yeah.
HBO Max show to come out, or
Yeah.
movie to come out because of the New Deal.
Right.
Had a lot of heavy names, and it just fell on its face. So,
Yeah.
The Little Things for me.
I don't even remember what that is.
Yeah.
Jared
don't worry
Leto
about it.
movie. Yeah.
Oh God, yeah. Oh my God, dude.
I think the biggest letdown of the year has to be Mortal Kombat, though.
That's on my list.
Ooh.
Yeah, 100%.
The biggest? I wouldn't say that.
That's Matrix.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Matrix, so I'll
was
take your word for it.
Fucking horrible. God damn, that was bad.
So Frank, what's on your list or your most disappointing one? Or
Halloween Kills, I was pretty disappointed.
Oh yeah. I also didn't enjoy it as much as I wanted to. I know Sonny liked it.
I did. I really did. Yeah. Yeah, man. Oof. That one stings mi corazón a little bit.
Sorry,
But
I wanted to love it. I was just couldn't.
nah. And
I
you know
watched
what?
it twice to try to like it.
And I'll be the first one to say I understand 100% why. It's very easy to see why. I liked it for what it was. The second one tends to be not that great, and the third one usually finishes off strong. But that's just me.
You think we're getting a third one?
No, we 100% are. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right. We are.
Yeah. So, but anyways, I will go cry about that one. So for me, I won't go in depth about any of them, but Mortal Kombat, Dynasty Warriors on Netflix, Those Who Wish Me Dead, and The Conjuring 3, The
Yeah.
Devil Made Me Do It. Those are my most disappointing ones of
The one wasn't. To me, it didn't fall on that list, but I could see why. I mean, well, I don't know. I liked it more than 2.
Oh, really? Ooh, I don't know.
I went back and watched 2 though, and I liked it so much more. So I don't know. My list probably doesn't make any sense.
No, it's okay. No, yeah, it's fine. That's why your list good stuff.
But The Matrix was just God. Oh my God! I wanted to kill myself.
Damn.
Dude, it was so bad. Oh my
I was
God.
drunk when I saw it, so I knew I was let down a little bit, but I didn't have that much of a
Oh, it was depressing. Like I watched like a string of bad movies. I watched that, and then I watched Resident Evil.
Oh
And I
yeah.
watched something else, and I was like, the movie industry can suck my
I'm done.
please. I'm done. I'm not even gonna catch up on anything else. This stupid industry has pissed me off. I'm done. This is what the list is. I'm not finding nothing else.
Yeah, man. No, I get that 100%.
God, they just pissed me off too many times in too short of a span.
He's done. He's walking away. He's
Now you have a couple recommendations from this episode.
Yeah, no, for real. I got some good ones here.
And then last category again, quick, rapid fire. If top 3 favorite show that you either started or season from 2021.
Okay.
For me, Ted Lasso. This is the first time I started watching it, and I powered through season 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Loved it a lot. I was addicted. Mayor of Easttown
Okay.
on HBO. Really
Yeah.
loved that miniseries a lot. I was hooked from the very first episode. And Dexter, New Blood, was amazing.
No
Great
spoilers.
miniseries. No
Hmm.
spoilers. Great miniseries. I loved it a lot. They really it fixed everything for me.
Are they gonna have more or no? Or is
No
just one
spoilers.
season or?
No spoilers.
Okay,
No
sorry.
spoilers.
Yeah, I don't know anything about this.
Because I'm with Gil, man. Like bringing Dexter into 2022, 2021, whenever it came out, really works. And the writing on this is fantastic. And it's kind of sad that it was missing from a lot of the end seasons of Dexter. So yeah, I'm super excited. For me, even though it's not in 2021, Daredevil, Dexter. This is a surprise one. Peacemaker.
Oh.
That is. I saw the first
amazing.
half of the episode, and I'm like, all right, I can mess with this. We'll test it out. So I'm excited for it. Succession, the best TV show on air right now. Succession is one of my favorites. The last season was ended fantastic.
That's
And The
next on my
Shrink
list.
Next Door. That
The
one's
Shrink Next Door.
awesome.
This
This is
next door.
Never heard of it.
Will Ferrell. This is an Apple TV I'm sorry, series.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So that's probably why you haven't heard too much about it. Paul Rudd, Will Ferrell, Catherine Hahn.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's some good stuff. So that's one of
Loaded.
my favorites. Yep.
Fucking stacked.
If you like Paul Rudd, you'll love this one. He's
I
in
love
it
Paul
a
Rudd.
lot. That
Nice.
You will love this one. So yeah.
Could
I
be
gotta
an
check
easy
that one
sell
out.
to my wife.
Yeah. Yeah. Frank, how about you? What do you got? Or if you have anything for us?
Yeah, I have. I just started Gemstones.
Oh my
Nice.
gosh, Gemstones.
Yeah.
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 This
Too much
season's
fun.
so much better.
Yeah, it is.
And I think because they're doing more of the church thing. So they're showing you more of that stuff instead of like a serious problem like the
Right.
first season, which
Oh,
kind of,
okay.
in my opinion, kind of took it away.
Mm.
But
Right.
yeah, there's
Took all
some
the
good
focus
stuff.
away. Yeah.
Yep.
The comedy is there. It's just so good. I was sad when it was only 2, and I was like, oh no, I don't want to wait anymore. But I'm really looking forward to watching more of that. And then Invincible.
Yes.
Oh
100%.
man.
So damn good. So damn good.
Great.
Need more.
Yeah.
And then Arcane, the League of Legends show on Netflix.
Still gotta watch that. Yeah.
The
What is it
animation is just freaking beyond anything. Arcane, Arcane. You don't have to be a big like myth and fantasy type of fan. This is a solid story. Everything is there. I mean, this is like a Pixar TV show for adults.
Nice.
Super good.
Yeah. Very
The
good.
animation is really, really beautiful. So that's all I got.
Tight.
Those 3.
Nice, man. That's solid. I mean, you guys basically named everything, but Righteous Gemstones, Invincible, Ted Lasso. I can't talk about that show enough. I think it's just a really great feel-good story that is well written and fantastic. And then Squid Games as well. That one
Yeah.
literally came out of nowhere. I think like I watched it a couple days after it hit Netflix. I'm like, people talking about it. I'll check it out. And I'm like, damn, you got me. It's good.
Yeah.
You done did
Yeah.
it. So, yeah, I'm usually not a big TV guy. Where like kind of like that, more movies. But these 4 definitely, they all hit the right spot, and they're just great. So,
Yeah.
and that, ladies and gentlemen, will bring the end to. Oh, look at that! The end of 2021 for us here at 3 Nerds on a Sunday. We'll have plenty more for 2022 coming up. This was a fun show.
Yeah.
I think
Lot
we
of
had a
fun.
really good time with it. Thanks to Gil again for coming
Thank
on.
you.
Who's Gilligan?
I would love to have you on other future shows, maybe for like
Yeah.
special event stuff.
For
I
sure.
think you fit well with us. And of course, guys,
So this
if
was like an
anything else.
interview then? Or what?
Yes, yeah, Frank, you are being fired tomorrow.
There he goes.
No, but in all seriousness, it's really fun to talk about nerd stuff with people who also are nerds, It doesn't happen too often for me. I don't know about you guys, but it's good to sit here and talk to you about movies and stuff like that. And
Oh yeah, man.
we bust balls a lot, but at the end of the day, what you like is what you like, and long as you're happy and have fun. So that's what that's what. Oh yeah, that's what being a nerd is all about. Is so stop your gatekeeping shit and let's just have some fun. With that, guys, thank you for listening to another episode of Three Nerds on a Sunday. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. We're Three Nerds on a Sunday. Feel free to ask questions. You got feedback, we want to hear it. You got comments, questions, concerns, let us know. We'll answer it here for you on the show. So until next time, guys, thank you again. We appreciate all the love. Until next time, bye-bye.
Ta-ta, Turbo Man.
Ta-ta, Turbo Man.